Last podcast on the left is all about the facts. So when Southern New Hampshire University came on as a sponsor, it was time to do some research. Turns out they offer more than 200 online degree programs, and get this, criminal justice and psychology are some of the most popular. Classes have no set meeting times, and tuition rates are some of the lowest in the U.S. Want to learn even more about SNHU? Visit snhu.edu/last.
Courage. I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand?
You hold my hand.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
Yeah, baby. Baby. Man. It's feeling good this week, man.
Is that what you got in your mind?
Is that Amy Grant?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, my
Man.
God, they should play that song over the footage of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Baby, baby.
I got a new emotion. Honestly, it's a good way to sell it. It's what's
fear,
hard.
dread.
It's so hard to sell it. But I was looking at the information last week, and I had this thought in my head, and I realized Marcus is Oppenheimer, Kissel's Leslie Groves.
Yes.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
He's
Cool.
Leslie Groves, and I'm the genius Albert Einstein. That's me.
Well, I definitely think we all have the similar eating habits of those people.
Yeah.
You know
So
how?
that's
'Cause
fantastic.
I got the little, it's the little Einstein kind of lingy tongue.
Yeah, you really do. Hey, everyone, welcome to Last Podcast of the Left Bend, hanging out with Henry and Marcus. My goodness
You're not
gracious.
with me. You're not with
Well,
me
no.
today.
As a matter of fact, this is old school.
It
Back
is.
in the day when Henry became a big celebrity and had to
big
move
star.
to Los Angeles and
Yeah.
leave
I
us
remember.
the little slugs back in New York City.
I remember.
We had to do it this way where Henry is out of the room. Henry is actually in the crux of Scientology right now, in the clutches of Scientology in Clearwater, Florida.
I'm not going to say that there was several recording studios that denied my request for, and this is real, there were several recording studios that denied my request to record there. And then we went go through, I was like, look at the addresses. They're all right next to the Death Star in downtown Clearwater. It's so weird, man. But yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm feeling the heat. That atomic level heat.
Yeah, man. You don't have to worry about recording in no studio that has pictures of the Scientology jazz band in the lobby. You don't need that shit.
I don't need it, but it would have been nice. Honestly, they look nice. But here at Soul Studios is absolutely incredible. You see that? It's like a place plug. It's a good plug.
There you go. Good plug. With any luck, you walk in there, they'll think you're L. Ron Hubbard. Okay, well, speaking of Death Star, let's get on to part 3 of the Manhattan Project.
So when we last left the Manhattan Project, the science and engineering side of the endeavor was well on its way to success, although it would take a further 1.5 years of trial and error before they completed construction of the bomb itself. But the thing about that 1.5 years of science and engineering is that it's a 1.5 years of science and engineering that mostly involves the minute details of uranium refinery, firing mechanisms, and various other atomic bric-a-brac.
Yeah, borium, chlorophyll, more like fill my fucking ass.
That's why we're doing a little bit of skip around, and we'll get
Good.
back to Robert Oppenheimer when it's interesting again.
Yeah, the juice really comes from the Trinity test. So we're going
Okay.
to wait until the juice is flowing real hard and real fancy.
Fantastic.
Now, therefore, for this episode, we're going to shift to the side of the Manhattan Project that was ultimately unnecessary.
Yeah. It is sad because it's the funner side in terms of like action and adventure and all that kind of shit. But it is the unsuccessful side. It was bad.
Yeah.
They did it
Well,
all
I mean,
wrong.
I would not say unsuccessful. It was successful, just unnecessary. I would say this is more a story of war. What is it good for?
What is it good for? Music? Making money? Power?
Honestly, GPD. But otherwise, nothing.
Yeah.
So from a perspective of an artist, this is when back in the day you'd fill out your writing packet, send it into Jimmy Fallon and say he's going to love it, but they never read it.
Yeah.
But you did a good job.
Yep, that's an incredible analogy, actually.
Good work.
But this side did end up accomplishing something that was wildly important to the history of the 20th century. It's just that they did so halfway by coincidence. This is the rest of the story of the Bastard Brigade, the men who would partly make up the Manhattan Project's espionage, reconnaissance, and recovery wing. And again, read The Bastard Brigade by Sam Kean. It gets our highest recommendation and tells a far more human World War II story than what you're probably used to.
It's really good. It's highly readable. Like, I flew through the first 300 pages of the Bastard Brigade. It's a fun adventure. It's Tarantino-esque. You can kind of see he must have stumbled upon this material when he was working towards Inglourious Bastards, because it kind of has that feel of like ragtag, a bunch of people who like shouldn't be doing extremely important jobs, doing them in a way that you can't teach.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like that naivete and lack of skill is sometimes extremely powerful.
Also, a fantastic film if you just want to see a bunch of Nazis burning alive in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Rarely can you see footage like that and celebrate publicly.
Yeah.
But you can when it's Nazis. I was going to say, if I was going to be arrested for anything, espionage.
I could see.
Hi. Hey. I'll be a honey trap. I'll go to
Oh,
Washington,
yeah.
D.C.
Tell me, little girl, have you ever been to see the Washington Monument? You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life.
I could also put on a dress. I could do a whole series of different things with a lot of questionable politicians.
Oh, you're not wearing a dress?
Oh.
You're not wearing, what is this? Oh, it's a very loose shirt. Oh, it's a lot of soft clothing. I'm sorry. I thought that you were just a 7-breasted woman.
Another honey pot potted.
No, if you'll remember from episode 1, the British had attempted to blow up the Norsk hydro plant in Norway because it was producing heavy water that ostensibly could be used in what they thought was a rapidly advancing Nazi nuclear program. But as we know, the Nazi nuclear program stalled in 1942, lurching along in ultimately futile fits and starts right up until the very end of the war. The Allies, however, were still operating under the assumption that the Nazis were ahead of them in every respect, so they acted accordingly.
Hey, if you were going to overshoot a project during any time period, this really was the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, lurching to the tall community, that is a derivative of the L word, which is lurch. And I will open doors for people, but I don't need the responses. And also, I don't need to be called Hodor. So if you're going to mention that, please give me a heads up,
Man,
so I can be prepared.
The H for you, truly Hodor should be the H word, because
It is the H word.
Unfortunate how many times I hear it, and it's like, okay, all right, technically he speaks for a living. Okay,
Yeah.
he just displaces the same amount of water as the actor who plays Hodor.
I asked my friend, I said, "What is that, a compliment or a diss?" He said, "Well, everyone loves him, but he is the R word."
Yes, he very much so.
Yeah, and it happens a lot at comic book conventions. When we were at WonderCon, there was somebody in the elevator with us that just straight up called you Hodor,
Yep.
and it felt bad.
It was
It did.
weird.
It felt
right.
real bad.
Just
I
like the
felt-
Manhattan Project.
I felt the weird sense of like, whoa, so this is what racism's all about. Whoa, incredible.
Yeah.
Now, the first mission to blow up the Norsk hydro plant, Operation Freshman, that had been a massive failure that had resulted in the deaths of 30 British commandos. These deaths had occurred either during the botched landings of their suicide gliders or at the hands of sadistic Nazi commanders. Worst possible fucking ending to a mission you can imagine. Well, additionally, the other fuck-up was that Operation Freshman also made it clear to the Nazis that the Allies knew about their atomic program, which implied that the Americans had their own atomic program.
Yeah.
But a year later, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare
I hate
decided...
it. I hate it, man.
You don't want to be a part of the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare?
These fucking British, again, they invented imperialism. They're like, what are the people that did that? And so they're all like, spying. Because that got to us, right? We had this idea in America that spying was ungentlemanly, right? Like we didn't want to do it. But the British were way ahead of us, man. They were already doing that shit for years. We learned it from them.
Yeah, but nobody was ahead as the Russians, though. The Russians have been doing spycraft for centuries.
I do like the name. I think it's fun.
I like it, too.
Yeah.
I think it's very fun.
It seems like they have knives in their canes.
Well, they decided that the Allies had no choice but to give Norsk Hydro another go. And this was also partly because this sort of action, this was about all Britain could do to contribute to the overall nuclear effort. See, their nuclear program, Project Tube Alloy, had been stymied.
Still one of the worst names of a project in World War II.
Yeah.
It really is.
It had been stymied by German bombing, so the Brits helped pick up the slack by preventing the Germans from producing the bomb, and they also took on the task of sneaking European scientists out of Europe, just like they did with Niels Bohr.
Oh, and you know how difficult that is with their creaky bones.
And their big heads.
And Niels Bohr is just anti-intelligence. He just does not understand what secrets are because his head was just so big, he just assumes everybody's inside it.
Oh, you just see him in Prometheus, the film, as his face is right against the helmets.
Man, this is true. We're covering all of the Manhattan Project history that's not going to be in the Oppenheimer movie. Because, the Oppenheimer movie is all about that dusty skeleton man eating pussy next to a nuclear reactor. And it's mostly going to be them all like, we're going to be, you don't have any idea how much it's going to be Oppenheimer saying goodbye to the woman that commits suicide for like, and you're just like, just be like, get back to the explosions.
Do you want to know a synchronicity with the Oppenheimer film?
Sure.
It comes out on my birthday.
Wow.
July 21st.
Well, hopefully that's the only one and we won't have a nuclear war.
Well, actually, we got right here is the creator of the second biggest bomb in the world. It's called his comedy career. Come on, Kissel. Come on. I'm sorry, buddy.
Whoa. What did I do to deserve that? I thought it was going to be a bowel joke.
I thought it was going to be a defecation joke.
I thought for sure because I just took a massive dump today because I'm on a DiGiorno kick.
Oh, is that the new diet?
Yeah, it's the DiGiorno kick diet, which is one DiGiorno a day keeps the doctor at bay.
Well, back to Norsk Hydro. While the British would organize what came to be known as Operation Gunnerside, it would not be British commandos doing the dirty work. Rather, the job of blowing up the power cells at Norsk would be given to local Norwegian soldiers and resistance fighters.
This needs to be a movie. This whole story.
There's like 3 movies that are based on this.
Good. I did not know.
Yeah.
I was looking that up.
Yeah.
So is that real? What movies?
They're all Norwegian.
We All Ski Naked? Is that one? What's the other one called? It's called like, I hate my vacation.
Yeah, that's not a bump. That's a medical problem. I love that film.
Oh, yeah, The Heroes of Telemark was a 1965 movie. That must have been boring as hell. And there's also a movie called The Heavy Water War, which is just, man, that looks boring as fuck. Come on, Norwegians. This all looks dumb.
That reminds me, my older brother Chris was anorexic, and I got him the movie Heavyweights for his birthday as a funny joke.
That's a funny. You knew.
Yeah, he was nano. He was a model. He was a model in Italy.
And you thought this was funny that he would think it was funny, or did you do it because you thought it was funny?
I thought it was funny. He wasn't offended or anything. He's just like, I don't even get it. It was like, because you're fucking anorexic. The movie's called Heavyweights.
Great. And I like how the clear up is actually probably what then makes it offensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then you have to explain why it's offensive. And then he has to sit there and he has to go like,
I'm his younger brother. I can do this.
Did you sit outside of his door and play All You Can Eat by the Fat Boys?
No. But we did watch The Disorderly Orderlies.
Yeah.
And yes, I used to see there's a scene that involves a lady.
All you can eat. Ain't that a treat? And over and over again.
Let's move on.
Now, when it came to Nazi collaboration in World War II, the government of Norway unfortunately has a reputation for hard capitulation. To wit, the man who weaseled his way into power when the Nazis blitzed Norway was named Vidkun Quisling. Yeah.
God, sounds like a Twizzler with cancer.
he definitely looks like a boob.
Yeah.
You know, he looks like he looks like one of my tits with a hat on. You know what I mean? He's very deflated. He's got kind of a ruddy complexion.
Oh.
Well, Quisling capitulated so hard to the Nazis that his surname is now a dictionary-listed noun, meaning a traitor who collaborates with an enemy force occupying their country.
Wow. Is that also like bootlicker?
Yeah.
That's a very offensive term.
Well, bootlicker can be any manner of thing. Bootlicker can be like a man who owes allegiance to his boss, even like the boss of a corporation, even though the boss has no feeling for him.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I normally think of a bootlicker as. Like that fucking guy in the new Zelda game who's holding up all the fucking signs for a boss who doesn't give a shit about him. He doesn't even know who the fuck you are. Why are you holding up signs all over Hyrule? And I gotta come along and I gotta fucking help you fix these fucking signs, you fucking bootlicker. Fucking bootlicker.
I'm just
Fernando
as
knows
lost
what I'm
as you
talking
are.
about.
Yes. Okay. Zelda's actually the name of the princess.
I learned that.
Link. Yeah, Link is actually the main character.
I heard that bootlicker was the name. It was a Native American moniker for the first ever sub in a tribe.
All right. Fantastic.
Moccasin sniffer is the second. They also do that sometimes.
Really good.
No, Quisling was tried as a traitor and executed by firing squad after the war, so he got what was coming to him.
That happens.
It was crazy for a Norwegian to be turned into Swiss cheese.
Comedy career made in a lab.
I'm made in a lab.
Made in a
Scientology
lab.
can't fucking kill me, dude.
No, they can't.
But it would be wrong to paint all of Norway with the same brush as Quisling, because the Norwegian resistance movement was one of the most ferocious and well-organized of World War II. At 40,000 strong, they called themselves the Milorg.
Cool. What's that?
It's just that I don't know what it means in Norwegian, but it sounds cool as shit.
It does.
Yeah,
it sounds like a death metal band.
Yeah, it sounds like something that lives in the mines of Moria.
Milorg.
And their ferocity was largely fueled by Nazi brutality. For example, Norwegians could be executed for having something so innocuous as a bag of British baking flour. As was mentioned in the Bastard Brigade, one village was burned to the ground after a single bag of British flour was found. And as far as the people in that village went, 18 men were executed on the spot, and the rest were sent to concentration camps.
Oh my God. Honest question. How the fuck do they know the ethnicity of the flour?
Truly,
The bag
it's probably
that it comes
because
in.
the bag. It probably has a Union Jack on it or something, a name of a British company. And this is like, because they were trying to very fully stamp out all, because of how strong the movement was to fight the Nazis from within Norway. They try to punish them as often as possible by doing that, where it's like, we kill everybody for one infraction.
Wow.
In other words, Norway had a few grudges to settle.
Yeah.
And a handful of Norwegians got the chance with Operation Gunnerside.
Cool.
Now, instead of a commando force of 30 British soldiers making a direct assault on the plant, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare decided to use Norwegians. And in the process, they played to Norwegian strengths.
Oh, yeah. They got big bottom women. They don't like clocks. Norway likes, fjords. They use the fjords. And then you got black metal. Yeah,
and ships. I also think they like ships and vessels of the sea, don't they?
Pickled fish. A lot of pickled fish there.
Yeah, pickled fish.
Does the plan involve pickled fish?
No. The new plan was...
Who gives a
Absolutely not.
fucking shit? Who cares, man?
Perhaps they had pickled fish along for the ride as rations. So maybe I cannot confirm nor deny the existence of pickled fish in Operation Gunnerside.
Okay.
You know who is one of my least favorite things about Norway is what else they gave us was Garrison Keillor. God, I hate
Garrison Keillor.
I fucking hate Garrison Keillor.
Prairie Home Companion. It's a comforting Saturday afternoon.
I hated Prairie Home Companion. God, I hate
Garrison
that
had a-
show. I hate their little voices. I hate quiet radio. I hate the... Oh, well, let's see what Terry has to say.
It's
You know,
one of
like,
those,
I hate that type of comedy where he just goes like, these rutabagas they're green. And everyone goes, Rodney. I hate
Well,
Garrison Keillor.
Garrison just lives a small recluse life now, I believe, in Minnesota.
Yeah.
No small back is safe around Garrison Keillor.
There you go.
Well, the new plan was to use 10 resistance fighters who also happened to be expert skiers who could quickly ski their way to the plant after being parachuted to the ground.
Whoa, James Bond.
Yeah.
I wonder if that scene Inception was based on this.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, this is just, I mean, it was all, I think it was also used in the beginning of True Lies, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of
yeah.
skiing.
Yeah.
Skiing
a lot of
commandos
skiing.
are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, some boobs.
After getting to the plant, they'd break in, plant explosives on the heavy water power cells, and hopefully cripple German heavy water production.
Oh, dude, that's cool. It's also reminding me of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I don't think they got to worry about heavy water being created because they had Sergeant Kissel, someone there. And as long as he kept his latrine filled, he was making that heavy water.
Fantastic. Thank you, Henry.
So, on the night of February 27th, in the dead of the Norwegian winter, the team skied to the location, stacked their skis in an igloo they made themselves, and scaled a 600-foot tall sheer cliff at the back of the plant to avoid guard posts. Because the Nazis are like, nobody's fucking crazy enough to scale up that it didn't even cross their mind that someone could do this.
Wow.
And again, what fueled them was truly pure ignorance, then met with like, oh, we can do this. Like, they did not truly understand that it was in the bottom of a crag. Like, this thing was literally like perfectly safe from any sort of overhead bombing. And so that whole breakdown in the Bastard Brigade of them like trying to figure out like, okay, can you even climb this fucking wall that surrounds this thing? And the one was being like, if there are plants growing, then there are places for our hands to go. And so then they went and that's where they figured. So they would just look for the plants. It's crazy in a blinding snowstorm. Yeah.
That's interesting.
After following Nazi patrol routes to hide their tracks, the Norwegians found an unguarded gate and cut the lock, whereafter 5 men provided cover while the demolition team cut a hole in the fence to gain access to the plant itself. But when they got through the outer perimeter, the team found that contrary to their advanced insider intelligence, every door and window had been bolted shut. Improvising, they found a utility duct and crawled their way to the room where the heavy water was both stored and produced.
Wow. It's crazy, man. They're doing like Persona 5 Royal shit.
Yeah.
When you have to like do that. It's all with Metal Gear Solid too. We have to find a lot of vents.
Yeah, a lot of vent use. Also with the Arkham Asylum, with the Batman game, which is actually why I don't really love the Batman games.
The Batman game is 90% vents.
A lot of vents.
Yeah. Well, after dropping 15 feet from the ceiling to the floor, the commandos snuck up on the only guard. Improbably, the Nazis had left a frumpy old Norwegian man named Gustav to guard what was supposed to be the Nazis' most treasured scientific resource.
Are you looking for the fat boy water? It is in the other room.
Thank you, Gustav.
Thank you, Gustav.
He just definitely seems like the Milton from Office Space, where it's like, okay, Gustav, we're going to go party. You stay here and have the guard of the water.
He did not give a fucking shit. Because I'm basically a prisoner here too. You know, I'm being forced to watch this thing by Nazis. So he's like, yeah, just do it.
Also,
just get it done.
You're watching water.
Yeah.
It's real boring.
Yeah, of course. And so Gustav was held captive in a corner while the demolition team placed enough explosives to blow up all 18 fuel cells and 770 pounds of heavy water.
The worst was when they started tickling me. They were tickling me in the corner. I couldn't get out.
Next thing I knew, it got bigger and bigger. And then it was me and 5 skiers, and all it takes is one pole to make a little bit of a side war party.
They made fun of it.
Well, Gustav, the entire time, he's like, please be careful around there. That if you are not careful around there, you're going to hurt the heavy. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Like it took him a while to figure out that they had showed up to destroy the plant.
Right.
And so, after planning all the explosives, they took Gustav with them. And at 1:13 a.m., 2 hours after they climbed that sheer cliff, they lit the fuse and the cells went boom.
Whoa!
Mission accomplished.
Sweet.
But they also knew that the Nazis were going to come and round up everybody within like 100 miles of the plant. So what they were doing was, as they went, they ripped off a patch. They were all dressed like British soldiers. So they ripped off the British stuff. It's cool. Because again, it feels like like an action movie. And like threw like the British insignias down. And then they would talk in Norwegian about how beautiful London was around all of the people that they were gradually kidnapping throughout the heist part of it. It's great.
Wow,
because
they ended up with 2 hostages by the end. Gustav and another Nazi, and an actual Nazi that they came across along the way.
Interesting. Why do I feel like Gustav would be played by Josh Gad?
Damn you, Josh Gad, it should have been me! It should have been me!
Rise from your grave.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out online. Yes, that's right. You don't have to smash your face with a hammer. You can just start a business. It's got everything you need on Squarespace, from securing your domain to building a professional site and showcasing your work all in one place. Let's say you want to show everybody how you can carve your ribs out of your lower abdomen so that you look more like a Ken doll. That's amazing. You can bring your vision to life with AI-powered design or curated templates, plus flexible editing tools that helps you create something that truly reflects your style, especially if you are somebody that is trying to corrupt the young men of America. That's what Squarespace is really going to help you. Squarespace makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to put all that together, and you just go to Squarespace and do it all. Thanks, Braden. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Summer means freedom. And for adults, summer means work next to freedom. But thanks to Mint Mobile's summer sale, it can almost feel like the work is playtime for the adults. Right now, all of Mint's plans are $15 per month, even unlimited. Free yourself from Big Wireless and switch to Mint Mobile for high-speed data and coverage on the T-Mobile 5G network. It's so well connected, I could call from anywhere. Deep from well within my bunker, where my AI-fueled robots slowly but surely toil for me, but I know for a fact I'm saving money on my phone plan. Or up above, where I'm training all of my giant Amazon female warriors who will fight in bulletproof mesh. Also, honestly, Mint Mobile's really cheap and it's really reliable, so you should use it. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's mintmobile.com/LPOTL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's it. There's no catch. Upfront payment of $45 per 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Includes up to 20 gigabyte hotspot. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
Now, this team thereafter went down in Norwegian and World War II history as some of the bravest and most important heroes of the war because they'd seemingly crippled the Nazi nuclear program.
Wow.
That, however, is not really the truth.
You just got debunked.
No, don't let the truth get in the way of a good war story.
While the mission was indeed impressive in its planning and execution, Operation Gunnerside didn't really matter because Heisenberg's program had stalled. Even worse, while Norsk Hydro was supposed to be out of commission for at least a year, up to 2 years, it was back up and running, bigger and better than ever, within 6 weeks.
Wow.
They barely put a dent in it.
By the time they had, in the book, The Bastard Brigade, by the time they had the big congratulatory dinner, because then they took all the guys that did it out to dinner in London.
Yeah.
By the time they had got to the dinner, the plant was already doing its thing again. So
it was still good.
But he didn't want to tell them. So they're all like, they were literally all new. They scheduled the big celebration knowing that it didn't even matter. But it was nice because then they all got to get out of the war.
And it's still good for morale. They did it. They got in there. They blew up a building.
Great for morale.
Yeah.
But the plant engineers worked 24 hours a day in shifts to get the cells repaired. And by the end of it, they had managed to actually expand the heavy water operation from 18 cells to 26, which increased their production of heavy water from 11 pounds a day to 15.
It's kind of a really just sort of a glorified demo day and then a rebuild.
Yeah.
A little bit. It actually kind of made space for them to be able to build it better in a way that they didn't even think about. They're like, oh, now we could actually put so much more. The heavy water could go. And they're like, wow, this is actually kind of nice. So thank you, Mr. Gunnerside.
I said this was a load-bearing wall. Turns out it's not. We can really have we can have open concept in here. This is going to be great.
And now we've got the shiplap on one side and we've got the rolling barn doors because great illusion of space.
They really are fantastic. I mean, look at World Trade Center 1.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that building?
Nothing like a nice big target.
Yeah. And they've got that big mall there now.
They got a big mall?
They wouldn't have had that mall, the mall that looks like a cadaver.
Yes.
That wouldn't be there.
Yep. And
That
the
wouldn't be
memorial.
there. Nah, dude. And we got they got a Burger King there, man. It's great.
They do.
Now, the British refused to acknowledge that Operation Gunnerside had ultimately been a failure. At least they refused to acknowledge it to the Americans. And to this day, many historians still refuse to believe that the whole thing had been all for naught. Because it is, as you said, it's a great war story.
Yeah.
It's an inspirational story.
Oh, yeah.
But back in 1943, General Leslie Groves, head of the Manhattan Project, he wasn't about to accept the British view of the mission, especially after he received intelligence that the whole thing had been an objective failure.
I will say, I don't think it's unwarranted, but the Bastard Brigade has a for certain anti-British bias within the book because the entire thing is constantly talking shit about how the UK had no idea what the hell they were doing, that they didn't know, that they had second guessed, they were incorrect all the time. Well, and I don't know if it was real or not, but it's like Leslie Groves is like, God damn these slimy bastards. They have no idea what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, and it's all in the book. And you're like, I don't know if this is just dialogue written by a man that once got his like teeth broken on a bad scone or something. And now he hates all British things.
A little resentment, perhaps, from the past.
Possibly. See, when it came to Groves, his projects were all that mattered. And if he needed to go outside of normal channels to ensure that his current project was a success, he did it. After all, if the Nazis beat the Americans to the bomb, that would mean that the Manhattan Project had been a failure.
Right.
So Groves called for help and contacted the Office of Strategic Services, the OSS, which is, as we know, the antecedent to the CIA.
Wow.
This is back when espionage was fun and only done by old money people that would then form the fate of the rest of the country later on.
Yes.
I would disagree with it being only old money people. Old money people in charge, yes. But there were plenty of weirdos down at the bottom doing the dirty work.
Well, that's the thing, is that you learn it was the classic American approach of blue blood running through the very base of it, and then everybody's a freak. Everybody else is a literal, an unwanted person that knows and doesn't fit into any other branch of the government or society, that is very easily manipulated and used very effectively for espionage work.
Yep. Well, Groves got a hold of OSS founder Wild Bill Donovan and brought him up to speed on the situation. And the two of them got to work on a plan to take out the Norsk Hydro plant for good.
You know, they call me Wild Bill, but I actually just have early onset Alzheimer's. I actually think it's kind of offensive.
This poor Wild Bill. just been like, is this my house?
That's Wild Bill right now. That's Wild Bill. Bill, you know that's her house. He's being wild.
I'm not being wild. I don't know you.
Wild Bill.
Wild Bill.
Wild Bill. Oh, okay.
Please, for the love of God, where am I?
Now, the plan that Groves and Wild Bill came up with to stop the production of heavy water at Norsk Hydro, that didn't work out. But it was still the beginning of the Manhattan Project's involvement in covert combat, espionage, recovery, and assassination operations.
Wow.
I didn't understand that Leslie Groves could call a bombing in. That he literally could call the U.S. government and say, like, can you go bomb this place? And they would just go do it for Manhattan Project.
Well, we'll get to that in a second, but remember, he was a general. He was General Leslie Groves.
What a fun power to have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine if he was a specific?
Yeah.
That's cute.
I don't really get it.
It's really cute. He's not a general. He's a specific.
Oh, wow. This is really something that must only be made in the lab. That must be made in the lab. I literally got to get the fuck out of Florida.
My strength is leaving me. I was in a hot garage all day. I was doing a very Mama Zabrowski version of an episode of Hoarders where she kept going like, she'd be like, I want everything thrown out. And then anything I'd go to throw out, she'd go, no, don't you understand? That's my wedding dolls. I'm going to talk about wedding dolls and side stories.
Yeah, I know. You're going through a lot right now. Henry is at home helping his mother throw out things that she will not throw out.
Yes, the wedding dolls from her first marriage.
Begging me to come get rid of these things. Now I am here. Cannot believe that I would say yes. Now does not want to go through it. Junkman Joe's coming. First thing in the morning. And that just got to go out.
Joe. All right, so that explains the joke.
Fuck you.
He's under a lot of stress.
Yes. Now, as we were just talking about it, and as we covered in our MK Ultra series, some of the first men in the OSS came from the most powerful families in America, the DuPonts, the Morgans, the Vanderbilts. But in addition to the rich boys, Bill Donovan also had wild cards. He had mafia contract killers. This was all gone through in the Bastard Brigade. Mafia contract killers, bartenders, pro wrestlers.
Wow.
Yeah. And as it pertains to our story, professional baseball players like former White Sox catcher Mo Berg.
Wow.
Mo Berg is one of the more interesting characters in history because it's such a weird combo of a lot of different qualities. He was a genius. He was a multilingual person. He literally could speak Japanese. He's great.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting guy.
Yeah, Mo Berg was a natural athlete. He was beyond brilliant. He was fluent in at least 6 and maybe as many as 12 languages.
Wow.
He was so comfortable with just Latin that he could talk to a second baseman in Latin during a baseball game when he played shortstop, and they'd know exactly what the fuck he was talking about.
That'll confuse a batter. That'll confuse a runner.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he was played by, I forget, the catcher was a spy. He was played by Paul Rudd. And I said this on the stream, but he looks like the evil baby from The Simpsons.
Oh.
Like he looks like Imelda Marcos if Imelda Marcos was from the Bronx. Like there's something about him. He's got a gummy bear body. He's got the full unibrow, but he was an extremely compelling spy. People love this guy.
Yeah, it's just really bizarre because obviously we want to be inclusive in this world, but how do you get people to identify as hideously ugly? Because
just choose it. We do here. We are all proudly ugly.
Yeah.
I'm actually a pretty handsome man.
He feels handsome. Marcus feels handsome.
I've been told by many people that I'm quite the handsome boy.
I'm just saying Hollywood needs to include, Hollywood needs to stop prettying up all these ugly people through history.
I agree with that.
More ugly actors.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I would say Mo Berg was 1930s handsome.
Good.
Yeah, he was witty. He was the personification of the old cliche. Women want him and men want to be him.
I've always wanted to be a catcher.
I've heard.
Mo Berg was also an inscrutable loner with no close friends or relations. In other words, everything about Mo Berg screamed spy.
Wow.
Spy!
Nice.
Now, Mo had a surprisingly long career in baseball and impressively attended Columbia Law School full-time throughout the season during his early years in the league playing for the White Sox. I think his career was 8 years long, something like that.
Not too bad.
But after an injury in 1930, he was demoted to a bullpen catcher for the Washington Senators.
Once you tear your taint as a catcher, you're done.
Oh, yeah. The taint is one of the most crucial organs. It's an organ.
It's an organ to it is.
It's all taint. Because I was a catcher.
I know.
Wink. You can see, I got a catcher's knees.
I know.
I got an umpire's mind.
Well, Berg came to be known as Professor Berg amongst sports writers. This is due to his habit of reading books about non-Euclidean spacetime in the bullpen. And he understood it well enough where after the game, he got Albert Einstein's home phone number, and he just called up Albert Einstein and said, hey, you want to talk physics?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So this guy really was intelligent.
Yeah.
Because then Albert Einstein was like, I will teach you about physics if you teach me about baseball. And then they taught him about baseball, and you taught him about physics, but then he tried to teach him all the rules about baseball, and he was like, I do not get it. I am not a fucking jock. Fuck you, Chad. That's what he said.
Oh,
It was like, Albert Einstein. Come on, Albert Einstein. You get black pills?
Well, even more impressive was the fact that after Mo Berg's baseball career was over, he made an appearance on a national radio quiz show called Information, Please.
I'm immediately annoyed because I'm going to be on hold for 20 minutes.
No,
Information, be like, I just gave it to the automated system. Why do you need my information again?
That was in 1938. And in that year, he became an overnight celebrity. He was sort of a Ken Jennings, if you will.
Well, and of course, Henry and I cheap plug for our Patreon. I had a chance to interview Ken Jennings. So check out that conversation. Ken's a big fan.
Kissel, Kissel definitely didn't try to use him as an info booth and ask him a bunch of trivia questions to see what he knew.
I asked him why Axe body spray is so cold when it goes on your body.
And you thought that was a Jeopardy question.
He did explain it.
He did explain it. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
That's interesting. Well, maybe I'll have to listen.
You might, yes.
But like so many other Americans, when war broke out, Moe Berg wanted to fight for his country. But the military wouldn't take him due to his old injuries. So when the OSS was formed, Wild Bill Donovan trusted his gut and recruited Moe Berg, making Berg one of America's first international men of mystery.
Well, Moe Berg, for some reason, was kind of obsessed with the concept of either being a spy or wanting to do something, because he took a trip to Japan as a younger man and he filmed a bunch of shit from the top of a hotel. Like he got real into taking pictures of, and for some reason he did espionage film where he filmed like what's it, Putz? Like a port. He filmed like where the boats came in and out. He filmed a couple of places where there was like a factory district. He did this stuff as a sort of almost like some kind of reel, like an espionage reel, so that people could do it. And he spread this video around. And apparently it was so useful to the U.S. government because up until this point, the only information that they had about the Japanese shoreline and anything that happened on the Japanese mainland had come from like tourism books. They didn't even know what was happening over there. So it's very interesting. It's very, like, he was obsessed with it.
He shot a pilot. For the CIA or the future CIA.
That's your show.
OSS.
Right there. They saw that. They were like, that's your show.
Interesting.
Now, being an OSS agent was just as dangerous as being in the CIA, if not more so, because the OSS was very much making shit up as they went along, and they often did so in a dramatic fashion. For example, the OSS regularly used the infamous cyanide capsule, which, of course, could be bitten down upon if the agent was captured by enemy forces.
Yes.
Foaming death would come within seconds, and the agent's secrets would die with him.
There was a recent situation, about, 5 or 6 years ago? The dude in Russia who took it on the stand and you can watch him die. Have you seen that?
I haven't.
It works real fast. People, as soon as they knew what he was doing, they like lunge for him and try to get it out. But he already did it, and he was dead in like 45 seconds.
Yeah. It happens real fast. I also did not know that they were rubber coated. Yeah. So I guess there was a thing that if you pop it in your mouth and you don't end up not needing to kill yourself, you can just eat it and shit it out. Apparently, like you literally, it's a rubber capsule, so it just flows right through the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But I wouldn't trust it.
No, I wouldn't trust it.
I would. An eighth of an inch of government rubber between me and certain death. Like, I don't know.
I always imagine that Vladimir Putin has it all the time, like a chiclet in his mouth. I'm sure.
He just gets used to it.
Like just like some Copenhagen, just right in the lip.
Yep, I believe it.
Now, these men were trained in sabotage tactics like lockpicking, phone bugging, and silent methods of murder. But since it was all hush-hush, and since it had no precedent, the OSS had to create its own covert methods for graduating their training program.
This shit's crazy.
Yeah,
this is like such an outlandish concept.
In Moe Berg's case, he was tasked with planning a solo heist that involved infiltrating an American defense plant to steal any classified document he could find. Didn't matter what kind of document, didn't matter what it said, all that matters is it was stamped classified.
So this is the tangible when they get someone who knows how to like hack into computers to work for the government, and they're like, hack into our system so we learn how to do it, but this is that in the real form.
Kind of.
Can you imagine that, though? But up until that point, if you hire a hacker that has hacked into the government, you know that he can do it. This is literally being like, okay, we put you in a funhouse training segment where you have to shoot at plaster Nazis that pop up in window frames, like it's an old, like what Keanu Reeves does for John Wick. They do all that like type of training. And then it's literally, all right, go spy on us and come back.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that they would just go and not tell these companies that they would do it. And then afterwards, they'd have to, under pain of death, go through all of this stuff and then basically be like, this is an OSS training meeting. And they'd all have to go like, okay.
Yeah. Be like, and then somebody just had to be like, wait, the catcher for the fucking socks? That's who's doing all this?
Well, the point was that they wanted to see if Berg could come up with a plan on his own and execute it under pressure in a real-life situation. But Berg's plan wasn't as clever as you'd expect. He somehow got a hold of some White House stationery, and he just kind of forged a note and tried to bluff his way through it. And when he wasn't able to charm his way past a guard, he sheepishly had to admit that he was participating in what amounted to a glorified panty raid.
Oh, Mo, come on.
It's like, wait a second. Do you want to see the panties? It's like, wait a second. I can just see these panties? Absolutely, sir. Come this way. And as you see all of J. Edgar Hoover's panties just like lined up in this beautiful array. And he's like, yes, he comes here each morning. And depending on his mood and the day of the week, as you can see, MTWTFSS. Yes, days of the week, panties. His balls, big front.
As you'll notice, this one here is used.
$5. You can Venmo me.
Well, even though Berg failed, the OSS still decided to take a chance. And by the fall of 1943, he was being parachuted into Norway under the command of Wild Bill Donovan and General Leslie Groves on a reconnaissance mission concerning the Norsk Hydro plant. Now, Berg soon found and interrogated scientists familiar with the plant, and those scientists confirmed that the heavy water production had only ceased for about a month and a half. That interrogation was relayed back to Groves and Donovan, who both said, fuck it, let's just bomb the fucking thing into oblivion.
Right, sure. Why not?
Let's just bomb it. That's
Just
gonna be
bomb
such
it.
a fun day. We're like, we can blow it up. Yeah.
So within a week or so after the information was delivered, Groves and Donovan managed to gain command of 142 bombers from the bloody 100th. Planes with such colorful names as Boss Lady, Pickle Puss, She Hasta, Rum Boogie 2, The Raunchy Wolf, and two names that were simply named Horny.
Well, there you go. Creative naming.
It's just the idea of sitting there being like, yeah, she is. That's my plane. Yeah. Horny. That's her name. Yeah. She's ready for it. God, you can't even sit in the seats. I slide into the cockpit each time.
Well, the men, they also had colorful names. There was Bubbles, Handlebar Hank, Lucky Luckadoo, the two Harrys, the three Buckies, and a guy just named Veal.
Oh, man, it sounds like you're describing a bunch of rescue dogs as someone's going to look to adopt. Like, that's Lucky Lou right there. That's Beaver Stew.
Yeah, that's the list on Toby's Small Dog Rescue. They were up for adoption.
You don't want to know why we call him Horny.
Well, the reason why they call me Veal is because I'm a little sheepish.
Oh.
Come on, guys.
That's funny. Isn't veal beef?
Veal is beef. It's cow that is brutally treated at a very young age.
No.
Technically, you shouldn't eat it.
Made very tender by far too small cages, making them blind. The whole point, Kissel, you see, is that they're supposed to turn into sort of what Arby's does, something between liquid and a solid.
The
but
viscous,
Yeah, the idea is to make a thing, a living slurry.
There you go. Well, that's nice. That's humane.
But perhaps the reason why there was such levity around the Bloody 100th is because a lot of them got killed. They were called the Bloody 100th for a reason. An alternate name, a much less cool and a name that's a lot less fun. They were also called the Vanishing Americans.
Oh, my God. That is
bad nickname during a war.
Absolutely.
But the thing about bombing is that no matter how good your crew was, targeting just one building is really fucking hard. And it's even harder to target a single room within that building. That would be the heavy water room in the Norsk Hydro plant. Therefore, while 12 bombs hit the plant, only the power generators went down and 22 civilian villagers were killed in the process. That's why they were a little reticent to go the bombing route.
That's all? Out of 12 bombs, that's all that it was able to do?
It was literally inside of the... This is why I'm so glad I have a bidet now. Do you have an idea how hard it is to get to the dingleberries at the very bottom of the crevice?
Right.
It's extremely difficult without help. That's why I ended up clearing the field, blitzkrieging it, by snipping it in a hole around my beehole. But I'm sorry, Samantha, new assistant here. But this is different because you can't get to it. How do they count the bodies they kill? Can I ask? Like, truly, like, how do, in the end, when they talk about war casualties, this is just a general question. How do they, like, figure that out?
I think they go 1,
A two.
Oh, I forgot. It was the Tootsie Pop method. I didn't know.
Yeah.
That always held.
And then they bite the head off the fourth, and they call it a day.
I think just after the war is over, there's, record keeping, there's reckoning. How many people were in the village at the beginning of the war? How many people are in the village now? When did those people die? There's usually someone in the village just keeping track of all this shit.
Did your husband not come home?
Yeah.
That's truly a very morbid nerd's job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the reason.
Someone's got to do it.
That's one of the only reasons why we know so much about the Black Death that we do know is because
all the records.
Certain countries were insane record keepers, and that's why we know more about one than we know about the other.
Interesting.
Now, this failure again enraged Leslie Groves, because Leslie Groves is real.
Damn it! It's just like a lot of that, a lot of punching the air, playing with his belt.
Got angry real fast.
Well, this seems like a reason to be angry. He wasted, millions of dollars, I would assume, right?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't do a good job at a hard target. Couldn't break it, much like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Kissel, you're Leslie Groves. How would you react?
Get me that goddamn Wild Bill. I actually don't even
Bill?
remember. No, I'm actually Bill.
I see this here. I see this little sign. Yeah, I see the sign. I guess I must be Bill, but I don't know Bill.
Bill. Man, you are fucking wild.
Do you guys have a bunch of birds in here? Or what's that sound? Oh, God, are there a bunch of birds in here?
He's fucking wild. Trust me, this guy doesn't remember shit.
Am I Bill?
Wild Bill, we got a mission for you.
Whoa. Me?
Yeah, you're Wild Bill.
My name's William.
No, yeah, Wild Bill. Want to go kill some Nazis?
Yeah.
There you go. Wild Bill's back.
Now, when Leslie Groves calmed down, he realized that by just dropping one of his dudes into the thick of it, he very quickly had gained highly valuable operational information about the Nazi atomic bomb program. Didn't matter if the bombing worked or not, he still knew that it was all up and running, and he knew it straight from the horse's mouth. So Groves talked it over with Wild Bill, and Mo Berg was given over to the Manhattan Project as America's first atomic spy.
Wow, cool.
Now, smartly, Groves gave Berg no specifics about the Manhattan Project, but Berg did learn enough quantum physics to be able to interrogate European physicists in their own language.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy because they couldn't have anybody that had any operational connections to Manhattan Project over in the theater of war because they knew if any one of these guys are get scooped,
right?
We love our scientists because Groves knew we need scientists doing this so they can understand the actual what they're looking at when they go look for evidence of a Nazi atomic program. And but they knew they can't have somebody from the Manhattan Project because we love our scientists. But let's just say, once it came to being spoken to in the quote, in the style of the Russians, you knew that they were going to fold immediately. There was sort of physical, they can't be tortured. As soon as they're tortured, they're going to start spilling their guts.
And I don't disagree with them.
Yeah, well, Niels Bohr couldn't even stop talking about being an atomic scientist when nobody was torturing him.
Right.
He just talked about it out loud.
I did not go to 49 years of being a nuclear scientist, man. Do I just not start saying about it? All right, you tell me not to. What did you do? Oh, you're Mr. Radio Man. Mr. Radio Man does whatever. Everybody knows what you do.
In addition, Berg poured through the work of the great nuclear physicists of the day, such as the Joliot-Curies, Otto Hahn, and Enrico Fermi. But he was especially drawn to the work of Werner Heisenberg, who would soon become Mo Berg's #1 target for first kidnapping, then assassination.
Assassins. Also, just so you know, I have had a lot of people talk, and I got a little bit of a pushback, but I want to give credit where credit is due. And Otto Hahn actually mostly stole a lot of the work from Lisa Meitner. That was actually the person that was the actual brains in the operation. Otto Hahn, very similar to many of these guys that are in charge of a lab, will just kind of be like, "That's me, yup. I came up with it," but it's also everybody on their team who really is the people that give the actual information.
Interesting. Was she a Nazi?
Oh, I think that I actually don't know. I don't know. I think that she was fine. I think a lot of people, she was just kind of there under duress.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll get there. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Before I say yes, let's say,
Rise from your grave.
Is there anything better than a summer evening outdoors? Enjoy your space to the fullest with new greenery from Fast Growing Trees. I love a big, thick bush. Fast Growing Trees is America's largest, most trusted online nursery, and they can send me a big, thick bush any time of the day. It arrives at work. It arrives at my car. I can pinpoint on a Google map where it is. Send me a big, thick, brown bush. And they send it immediately when they have it, because sometimes the shaver comes to town. I remember one time I ordered a cherry wood tree from Fast Growing Trees. And my God, I couldn't cut it down, no matter what my father told me to do. I had to lie to him about it. And next thing you know, I became the first president of the United States of America. And even you can become the first president of the United States of America with Fast Growing Trees. Right now, get up to half off select summer planting essentials, plus get an additional 20% off your first purchase with code LEFT at checkout. That's an additional 20% off at fastgrowingtrees.com with code LEFT at checkout. Offer is valid for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply. In the United States of America, there's a break-in every 26 seconds. That means somewhere, right now, an intruder is getting closer. The problem is most security systems only alert you after a break-in has already started. That's too late. Choose SimpliSafe to secure your home. Using the Outdoor Camera Series 2 and advanced AI alerts, SimpliSafe's US-based live agents identify threats on your property and help deter them, stopping crimes before it starts. That's real peace of mind. They've got a really great security system that makes sure people don't get in your house or it makes a big noise. And to me, that's a big deal for me, is that it protects all of our yelling with a siren in our studio, which is one of the most important things that can be protected. I don't care if thieves come and kidnap us. I don't care if marauders come and steal our staff and bring them to another country against their will. As long as our words aren't affected, as long as our precious data isn't affected. And SimpliSafe does that. And for that, I say, God bless you, SimpliSafe. God bless you. God bless you, SimpliSafe. God bless you. Experience greater peace of mind with SimpliSafe, now available with an exclusive discount for our listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplisafe.com/LPOTL. That's half off at simplisafe.com/LPOTL. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Now, Berg was already on the front lines when it came to atomic spycraft, but Groves still needed a small team that could coordinate investigations into foreign nuclear activities that included, but was not limited to, domestic spycraft.
Oh, very fun.
That team named itself Alsos, which pissed off Leslie Groves because Alsos in Greek means grove.
Well, now, why would that be aggravating?
Because it was not a very good secret-keeping name.
Well,
because
okay.
Leslie Grove was very much famous for being, and anybody within the world of the military knew that he was running this thing called the Manhattan Project that was probably associated with us building some form of atomic bomb. So as soon as you see the word Grove attached to a thing that's a bunch of people looking for Nazi atomic bomb secrets in Europe, you're immediately like, oh, these are all guys from the Manhattan Project. And now we know that they are that far ahead in their atomic bomb program. Also, Leslie Groves just didn't like the British.
True.
Yeah, maybe a little egotistical on his part as well.
Quite possibly.
Could be.
But nevertheless, when it came to the man who would lead Alsos, Groves chose a fiercely anti-communist Russian named Boris Pash, formerly Boris Pashkovsky.
Oh.
Now, Boris had been born at the dawn of the 20th century in San Francisco, but in 1913, his family returned to Russia, where his father became a Russian Orthodox bishop during what was an especially dicey time. You know what the dicey time is?
What? We already covered it.
When?
With what? What are we talking about?
I see that they're talking. I see that they're talking, and I see that there's a show on. It's like, oh, yes. I'm on the show.
There's a
yes,
dicey.
My drinks are here. I see my drinks. I've been talking. Oh, God. Am I wild, Bill? Is this me?
Those are dicey time there.
Dicey, being a Russian Orthodox bishop in 1913 in Russia, that's a dicey
probably not
time.
good
Why?
because they didn't like religion.
He did not. No, we didn't.
They have a leader there that was anti-religion.
Not yet.
Buddy, all I know is bishop, fucking flog it, make the juice. I really
it's
don't care.
It's a numbers game. Comedy and thought process is a numbers game. You never know. You never really know.
I don't think being a bishop ever is fun.
Well, this was right before the Russian Communist Revolution.
Sounds like a dicey time. Yeah, exactly.
And when the Russian Communist Revolution came, Boris, not surprisingly, fought for the Tsar as a part of the White Army, which was made up of religious zealots and the capitalist bourgeoisie who benefited from Tsarist rule. As we know, the revolution ended in the death of Tsarist Russia, so Boris slowly made his way back to America, where he was born.
Man, eventually, every one of our topics is going to touch each other.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that's all Rasputin.
This touches Rasputin directly.
That's so weird. So crazy.
That's what I was talking about.
The connection between Boris Pash and Rasputin is.
That's what I was saying. We covered it.
I would say none, because Rasputin was just hanging out in the palace having a good old time.
I'm just hoping. I'm hoping for an extended universe.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
And by the mid-1920s, Boris Pash's name had been shortened from Pashkovsky to Pash, because when he came in through immigration, they're like, you're Pash now.
It's a lot easier that way.
Yeah. And he was soon teaching high school in Hollywood.
Oh.
Hollywood High School.
I drive by it every day.
Man, was he actually at Hollywood High School?
I mean, they just said a high school in Hollywood, so maybe Hollywood High School.
Probably Hollywood High
That's
School.
So crazy. It's so weird. It's like where Judy Garland went and shit. It's like, it's very strange.
There's a mural of all the actors that are famous from there.
Oh, wow.
On the outside of the school. Strange.
It's really strange.
Yeah,
Very strange.
The one on the way to the Sirius XM.
Yes, sir.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
It's very famous. Yeah.
Yeah. It probably was that one.
Yeah. I think that's what they said, 90210. I think it was based on that.
Oh, wow. In 1930, though, Pash returned to the military and joined the Army Reserve. 10 years later, Pash was in the Army's intelligence division, tasked with hunting Japanese insurgents in the Baja Peninsula in an effort to prevent an attack on San Diego after a Japanese sub had surfaced in Santa Barbara, California to fire on an oil refinery.
Now that's a Baja Blast.
Now, no insurgents were ever found in Baja, nor were any Japanese American citizens ever found guilty or even tried for espionage or treason. In fact, out of the 10 people convicted of spying for Japan domestically during World War II, all 10 of them were white weeaboos.
What's a weeaboo?
Yeah, man.
A person who is a Westerner who is extremely obsessed with Japanese culture.
Oh,
Well,
like Gwen
anime.
Stefani.
It's more of an anime thing, but still, these were people who were extremely obsessed with Japanese culture to the point where they were traitors against their own country.
Well, that's what got Gwen Stefani in trouble, because she said, I'm kind of Japanese, but she's not.
She claimed to be Japanese. And, I haven't seen the documents, but when I see a white woman, and you just never know.
You never know.
You never know what's inside. Because I'm half Spaniard.
Are you?
know that.
I'm just saying it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, the most interesting of these weeaboos was a woman named Velvalee Dickinson, a.k.a. the Doll Woman.
Whoa, man, the nickname's scary. The name is sexy, but her nickname is scary.
You think Velvalee Dickinson is sexy?
Yeah.
Velvalee
Dickinson? Yeah.
Velvalee Dickinson definitely sounds like a woman I'd end up ruining it all for.
Yeah, smooth. Yeah,
Damn you, Velvalee, get out of my mind.
Velvalee Dickinson from a long line of Dickinsons.
Damn it, Velvalee, get out of the trunk of my car.
Oh, I ain't going nowhere without you. I'm Velvalee.
You got me cornered.
Yeah, Velvalee Dickinson. Yeah, she's a babe.
Well, after becoming obsessed with Japanese culture, Velvalee used her doll shop in Manhattan as a front for Japanese espionage.
Oh.
She passed military intelligence to the Japanese in letters that relayed information through doll lingo.
Well, I don't like that she's doing that. And I don't like doll lingo.
Yeah, what is doll lingo?
She would refer to things like fishnets, like doll accessories, and they would be set. They would be fishnets. That was one of the weirder ones. Was fishnets.
Yeah.
Like
I don't like all this like sexy little dolls.
She would say like, "I'm getting an order of 2 fishnets from San Diego," or "I'm getting a set of fishnets repaired in San Diego."
Yeah, you would, Belvalee.
Which told the Japanese that there were 2 ships in the harbor at San Diego being repaired at that time.
Oh,
hot damn, Belvalee. You know what I mean? Whoo, man, those letters. You can even read through the letters. She's got a body.
Yes, indeed. Although fishnets need to be cheaper.
You think so?
They're fucking expensive. Have you ever gone to one of those stores where when the lady wants to dress up all fun? And fishnets, there's no material.
Well, I'd imagine they're
$50 goddamn dollars.
They're difficult to make, though.
They are not.
Why are you pricing out fishnets?
Hey.
Why are you doing it?
Hey.
Why are you doing
I'm
that?
just saying they're very expensive for limited fabric.
That is true, but it's the quality you pay for and you pay for the labor.
No, you're supposed to be able to tear them open.
Oh, weird, Kissel.
No.
We've headed into a weird private part of your life.
No, everyone agrees.
Do you just rip apart fishnets at home like you're a giant horny dolphin?
Oh my God.
Like, do you just go and like you're Gojira itself?
No,
just being like,
no.
go like, nothing can contain me. And just like put it over your head and just rip it.
Yeah, why not?
Go through?
Have fun with it.
Well, the letters written by Belvalee were sent to Japan via Buenos Aires, and she used names of people in the doll trade that she had grudges against, and it was that little bit of pettiness that got her caught. Because the letters were intercepted and they started to see like, oh, this sounds, a code breaker looked at it as like, oh, this is obviously all code. And it would have the name of like Martha Johnson, who lives in Boulder. And they go and talk to Martha Johnson from Boulder and say, are you a fucking spy for the Japanese? She's like, that sounds like something Belvalee would be into. And so
Belvalee's like, yeah, I may have done a treachery or two, but when it comes down, everything's fair, love and war.
Belvalee.
Like, all right, Belvalee.
Can I show you a picture of
see her.
Belvalee, Ben?
Because I got a pretty hot, steamy picture going in my mind. And, well, you know, it looks, so I understand why they called her the doll lady.
No, Belvalee is very different than what I thought.
But, you know, it was also the photography back then.
I literally thought, I just, in my head,
you know what? It was
I was just seeing a blonde bombshell with just, a slinky, like Jessica Rabbit, style. But
there's only, to be fair, there's one picture of her, and it looks to be her in her, like, 50s. She had something. I'm looking at it from certain angles.
I think this picture is from her in the 30s, and she looks like a melting skeleton.
Well, aren't we all? Aren't we all? All right.
Does.
Well, that's why she's got such great personality. That's why she's always playing with dolls.
She looks like before the Wicked Witch of the West turned.
Yeah.
Like she looks like in the real life version.
Dude, you say what you want about that Wicked Witch. She's got a tight bod. I must be horned up today.
You really seem to be. Yeah.
You haven't jerked off in a while. Yeah.
Maybe you should.
Talking with Blasian.
Yes, indeed.
But when it came to Boris Pash, he fell in love with the military intelligence game during his hunt for non-existent Japanese insurgents. He was great at managing agents. He was a master of disguise. He had a knack for putting wigs on straight.
I hate this guy. Honestly, why? For all intents and purposes, I should love this guy, but I hate this guy.
This is what you would be doing.
Yeah.
I know.
And he was pretty good at funny voices. But like voice alteration.
Well, as long as he doesn't use them in our fucking ads, because they don't like funny voices.
We've gotten some ass to be re-recorded, yes.
Well, Boris Pash therefore caught the eye of the OSS, and he was soon named head of West Coast domestic security for the Manhattan Project.
Oh.
Now, Boris Pash's first task was to investigate lead scientist Robert Oppenheimer and his associates to see if any of them were passing information to the Soviet Union.
So it seems here, truly, that there's a lot of distrust.
Oh, yeah.
So the investigations are all like within the house
and with good reason.
Right. But that is really interesting, though, because you think about like the combined front, the United States versus the commies and the Nazis and the Japanese. But really, everyone was like, who the fuck do we trust?
Well, because this entire lab was based off of basically current and former communists were all like there. You had a bunch of people that were all, because some of them card-carrying communists that were the ones that were the leaders in nuclear science. So they're all at the Manhattan Project. They're at Los Alamos. And so they basically hire, an internal affairs guy to go and you're going to watch us while we watch ourselves because we don't know how this is going to work out. Like, we actually don't know because, again, warring factions. Half of them are like, the Russians are our allies. There should be a free, border here. There should be osmosis of our science and their science. Like, we should be sharing it. But they, were not fully privy to the idea that we were setting up villain number 2 for the sequel.
Yeah. And to the point of everyone coming together for the war effort, that is very much that's a rose-colored view of history. America, when we were first asked to ration, we fucking hated it. We were dragged along, kicking and screaming the entire time. We did not like rationing. We did not like sharing. We basically, the government basically had to hire a daddy to force everyone to do it. But if they wouldn't have forced everyone to do it, we wouldn't have won the fucking war.
So there you go.
Yeah. Sometimes you need a daddy.
No, you don't.
Don't you, Ben?
No.
Don't you sometimes need a daddy?
No.
I think sometimes you need a daddy.
I
need a daddy.
I am good.
Kissel, I think that if you had a very special little daddy, I feel like, because he doesn't have to be in charge of you. He could be lateral.
Mm-hmm.
He could be your co-daddy.
Yeah. I have enough little people around me. There was just a group for me to just go talk with other big people and just be like, these littles. Fuck is
that's how this starts. That's how this fucking starts.
Oh, God, man. Is that how an NBA locker room sounds like?
I don't. They have their own issues. I
think they're all just getting too laid and paid to be angry.
Yeah.
They're NBA guys.
I think they're pretty happy.
Well, the FBI had already been investigating one of Robert Oppenheimer's students, and that student was indeed passing information from Oak Ridge and Los Alamos to Soviet agents. Pash, however, demanded that he be given total control over all investigations into Manhattan Project staff. That authority was swiftly given, and Pash began a lifelong career of being the type of guy who would fit his entire head up your ass if he thought there might be a communist hiding inside.
But they also
hey, buddy, I got a couple of communists in my ass. You want to come check it out?
You want it too much.
No.
Look. I'll have to look.
Yeah.
Now I have to look.
Yeah.
My God, this is the cleanest asshole I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There wasn't a communist in here now. There certainly was one here recently.
Nice and cleaned up.
Put a surveillance team on that man's asshole.
There was a kind of a problem, though, because a lot of this shit he did was completely illegal. So he'd set up a house that he wired for sound, and he'd invite communists to it and go, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just seem like, what do you think of this? And so the students got caught, but because all of the evidence was against them was built up illegally, they didn't know what to do with them. So you're like, well, we can't prosecute them for espionage officially. So they just sent them all on the worst details in the war.
Mm-hmm.
Like they sent one to Alaska. They sent one to another place where they just put them away from anything important possible. And just were like, all right, you go peel potatoes for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
You love potatoes. You're a communist.
He installed surveillance equipment worth $100,000 in modern currency in the radiation lab at the University of California, Berkeley.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, he also had undercover security agents follow anyone he suspected of having communist ties, and he flipped Oppenheimer's driver and his bodyguards into becoming informants that reported directly to Pash.
And so there is a really interesting push and pull in that time period. It's very difficult to cover accurately on a podcast versus a book, but Oppenheimer understanding that everyone was trying to out him as a communist spy was a part of one of the big pressure points during the end period of the Manhattan Project as they were going up to the Trinity test, because obviously he's under a lot of pressure as it is. He's under pressure in his own mind. He's under pressure from the U.S. government, but now they're all looking for any evidence that he's a communist too. So he tried to quit 4 times.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't handle it. I have to go. And you're like, Robert, come on, buddy. Come on.
They're going to make a movie about you. Don't worry.
But as I said last episode, the unfortunate reality is that, as Henry said, there were quite a few card-carrying communists both orbiting the Manhattan Project and quite a few inside the project itself. Even a few in the inner circle, although most of them weren't feeding information to the Soviet Union. They were just communists. It was just a
They
political
just were
ideology.
communists. They were American. Yeah, they were American communists.
Military intelligence, however, is not necessarily known for sussing out nuance. And by late 1943, Pasch's hard-on for communism got to be so obtrusive that everyone in the Manhattan Project and the OSS hated him.
Yeah, eventually they're like, you know what? Honestly, the communists are crushing it right now. You're killing me, Pasch. You're fucking killing me everywhere you go, because he's just like, he's too good. He was too good at being an internal affairs guy.
Yeah. They wanted to send him away. Get out of here.
It just sounds very annoying.
Extremely.
Probably,
He's an aggravating person.
He's bringing the vibe down.
Sure.
Yeah. And he's also fucking up your day in the process. He is setting your work behind because you can't get the fucking project done if half your guys are being interrogated by Boris Pasch, or if they're fucking constantly worried that Pasch is going to arrest them.
It's weaponized HR.
And actually, it really is.
Yep.
It is.
And this is partly how Boris Pasch got put in charge of an ALSOS mission that tracked the developments of Axis nuclear programs, which necessitated a relocation to Europe.
Oh, fun.
But I feel like this is the type of thing that showed just how much of a genius Leslie Groves was, because he kind of understood, well, yeah, he hated communists too. He was a fucking diehard American, but there's like a part of him that did understand we need these Russian nerds right now. Like, we need them. After the war, you guys can all tear all of these guys to pieces if you want. But right now, I need to all of this shit needs to stop.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. By 1944, Boris Pasch was in Italy tracking down a former assistant of Enrico Fermi's to see what he knew about German atomic studies. This was a mission called Operation Shark.
Ooh, that's fun. Dancing. Remember the dancing shark?
Yeah, I
Baby
remember.
shark.
Yeah, baby shark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, baby shark. God help us all. God help us all. Oh, Mr. Bill. It's just becoming, I'm just Wild Bill in my head now. Just going, my God, am I a shadow of myself?
That's wild. That's Wild Bill for you.
That's real wild. Well, in Shark, American agents would be sent to Rome to quote unquote persuade this former assistant to defect to the Allies. If the assistant were to resist, however, agents were authorized to beat him into submission and drag him to a submarine by force.
All right, guys, you know what? I'll just go with you. What if I just go with you?
But since this spycraft stuff was still pretty new to the Americans, Operation Shark got double booked. Unbeknownst to either man, both Boris Pasch and Mo Berg had both been assigned to interrogate and or retrieve this Italian assistant.
So dumb. It's just such a thing. It's humanity. Again, we always talk about the human element. And it's just so crazy. Just like none of them, because everything's so secret, nobody can know what the fuck's going on.
Mm-hmm. So what are you doing here? What are you doing here?
It was
same thing that you're doing.
There's a whole scene. Yeah. There's literally an entire scene like that.
Now, if you'll remember, Mo Berg was a minor celebrity, and when he arrived in Naples on his way to Rome, he got recognized in the street by none other than a group of major celebrities who were in Italy on a troop morale mission.
Oh no, he got by the what is that called? The USO tour guys.
Yeah.
Who's a good medium like athlete? Celebrity, like
back
somebody
then?
like
I would say
nobody like now,
well, I would, if we go back to the 90s, let's say Deion Sanders.
Well, he was an A-list celebrity.
He was huge.
Yeah,
he was huge. I'm trying to think of somebody who's like medium. That's less like you'd have to be like,
Ricky Henderson.
Sure, Ricky Henderson, but I think he's number
Patrick
one for
Ewing,
stealing.
You'd be like,
bases.
he was famous.
I got it.
Patrick Ewing.
I got it. Icky Woods.
Okay, Icky Woods, the Icky Shuffle.
Yeah. That's perfect. Ozzie Smith.
Ozzie Smith is very,
Ozzie
very
Smith's
famous. You guys are saying all of these very famous people.
That's all we know. That's what we're looking to
Detlef Schrempf is the answer.
Perfect.
Detlef Schrempf was the answer.
Yeah,
yes.
okay. All right. Well, the crew that recognized Mo Berg was baseball star Lefty Gomez.
They call me that because I only use my right hand.
I get it now.
A heavyweight champ named Jack Sharkey. And Humphrey Bogart.
What the fuck?
He's just hanging out. Because they went to go talk to they were doing a USO trip.
Yeah,
they were all going hanging and saying hello.
Yeah, they were hanging out and they got a free trip to Naples out of it. Because this is not too long after the Allies took Italy.
Okay.
Now, since Berg had been a baseball player of some renown, he was known, Lefty and Sharky, they knew him. They'd hung out. And when they spotted him in the street, they go, Mo!
And you can just see him just like, not now, guys, not now. Just like, cut it out, please, not now, guys.
That's exactly what he said. He put his finger to his lips and went, shut the fuck up. And then he just disappeared into the crowd.
I'm undercover. I gotta go. That is such a funny coincidence.
Now, when Berg arrived at the Italian assistant's home in Rome, he did indeed find the assistant. But he also found Boris Pash, who'd already been interrogating the assistant. Bash asked Berg, "Who are you?" And Berg said, "I'm here on behalf of the Alsos mission." And Pash said,
"I am the Alsos mission. It's me. That's what I do." But he did the thing where he was like, "Tell me your name." Like he was hard interrogating the scientist.
Right.
And the dude just couldn't handle it.
I would much rather get interrogated by Mo Berg.
Yeah, well,
much rather.
Mo Berg was actually very good at it. Because
smart.
Yeah, because he's very smart and he's charming. So he's good cop. Boris Pash is bad cop.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and Pash had not gotten anything out of this assistant during his interrogation. But Berg, he was able to confirm from the assistant, that this assistant had been in contact with several Axis physicists, Italians, Germans. This guy was in contact with them all. Berg then went back and re-interviewed every scientist Pash had interrogated, but he did it better. And each person, he uncovered something new.
He's crazy. He's one of the most effective spies in the war.
That is really
it's
cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, fuck this Oppenheimer movie. I want to know the Mo Berg story.
Well, they already did it and it failed. It's like
what was it? By who?
It was called
The Catcher and the Spy.
Yeah, the catcher is a spy.
Oh my God! I don't even want to know about what's going on these gay porn sites. All I know is that is a horrible, horrible name.
It's a terrible, and it stars Paul Rudd as Mo Berg.
Again? Well, that's Paul Rudd. Yes. Okay.
Rudd.
So that was the Paul Rudd movie. Okay.
That was the Paul Rudd movie. Yeah.
It's hot garbage.
Yeah.
I watched about 10 minutes of it.
Fuck. Man. Make another one then.
Sure.
You know, they made 2 Steve Jobs movies after poor Ashton Kutcher. He never should have been cast in it.
No.
Just make another one.
It's just like the whole movie's just a fucking asshole in a turtleneck walking a room being like, "We need to make iPods." That's it.
There you go.
It's not a good story.
And that's the story of Apple.
Yeah. Well, Berg came across a postcard sent to physicist Giancarlo Wick. That postcard was from none other than Werner Heisenberg, the proverbial big fish of Nazi nuclear physicists.
Whoa, this is a smoking gun.
The postcard clearly stated that Heisenberg was in the Bavarian Alps, scouting for a location for a new lab. And with a location in hand, Alsos began formulating a plan to remove Heisenberg from the board one way or another.
Yeah, get him!
One way or another.
Meanwhile, back in France, some of the other nuclear physicists stuck in Europe were spending their time day in, day out, avoiding Nazi capture and or death. We're about to get to the people who are in the shit.
You know what you want to do?
Who never left the shit.
What you want to do there? Zigzag. Everywhere you go, zigzag.
Serpentine,
zigzag.
Change up.
Yep.
You're really going to need to do it. Change the way you go. You know what I mean? If you're taking Elm Street, take Wisconsin Avenue. You got to fucking really move it around.
Absolutely. That's true.
That's how I avoid getting kidnapped.
Every day.
That's right. I forgot that you're constantly worried about getting kidnapped due to your small stature.
Yeah, there's you know the roaming gang of children that follow Henry around with knapsacks?
It's what I know.
Just be like, "Oh, he'll fall. Don't worry, he will fall."
I'm training them. They're training me. At the same time, no bag can contain me.
Well, scientists Frederic and Irene Joliot-Curie, they'd been in the thick of Nazi-occupied France working for the resistance, but the situation was starting to get too hot even for them.
Yeah, because if you remember, they were running a cyclotron forcibly by the Nazis. The Nazis were making them do all of this research for them, and then they were intentionally sabotaging it as they went.
Yeah, and working for the resistance at the same time. And this is before the Allies landed in Normandy. Europe is still totally under Nazi control.
Very interesting.
Incredibly, though, even though they knew they had to get out of France as soon as possible, they delayed their escape for a month so their daughter could take her bachelor's exam in physics.
Wow, it's so strange that like real life things are still happening.
Well, that's one of that's one of the things that people I think really goes by the wayside when people think about World War II is that Europe, a lot of fucking people died, but life went on normally for a lot of people. Even in Nazi Germany, like for a lot of people in Nazi Germany, they skated through the 12 years of the Third Reich, and then they just came out the other end, and nothing really changed for them throughout. Life was just kind of the same.
My grandfather lost $1 million.
Sure, but there were
no way he deserved it.
Yeah, there were plenty others.
Way.
There's plenty others who just fucking skated through. The Mangala Corporation.
What?
The Mangalas came through on the other end, still owning their tractor company.
That's right.
It's really weird because I guess truly in America, we don't know what it's like to have a war walk through your country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is kind of so we don't understand that life doesn't just stop. Like there's it all keeps going.
Yeah. I mean, well, think of it this way. It's like if there's a war in which New York, like Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Seattle, all these places are bombed. Like if you're living in Cincinnati, I mean, you might have like less chocolate and you might have a hard time getting a hold of like certain goods. But overall, you're still going to school. You're still going to work selling that fucking chili.
I tell you what, though, those real estate, that's going up.
Oh, absolutely.
And you have to, it sounds like a kind of a solid plan in many ways to have super aggressive realtors change the face of this country using light domestic terrorism.
I don't know. Escape from LA, escape from New York. I don't think that means escape to Cincinnati.
Well, I would say a more apt description would be if Texas got bombed and like Austin and Houston are getting bombed, but like Lubbock and Austin, Houston, and Lubbock are getting bombed. But if you're living in Abilene, shit really doesn't change much.
No, it doesn't. Nothing to bomb. It's sad. It's almost sad.
However, the Joliot-Curies leaving a month late, that actually ended up being their saving grace. By complete coincidence, the Joliot-Curie family left Paris for Switzerland on D-Day. And since the Germans were suitably distracted, the Joliot-Curies escaped. Had they left a month before, they undoubtedly would have been stopped at the border, where they absolutely would have been captured or killed.
Damn.
Yeah. And because remember, no one knew D-Day was coming. Not even the Nazis knew D-Day was coming.
Yeah.
And once the Allies firmly planted themselves on French soil and began marching towards the capital, the resistance in Paris turned up the volume. And Frédéric Joliot-Curie, who remember, this guy's just a fucking physicist by day, he returned to Paris to join the fight.
Wow.
Using his scientific know-how, Joliot-Curie made chemically superior Molotov cocktails by mixing potassium chlorate and sulfuric acid with the petroleum to make the weapons that much more effective and deadly. I would imagine they would be stickier and they would burn harder. Yeah.
Sounds like it would just, that's a bad way to go.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, armed with the Joliot-Curie cocktails, thousands of French police successfully defended themselves against German tanks after the police had barricaded themselves inside their own police station. But after that battle, Joliot-Curie received a message that it was finally time to end the fight. With France all but taken back by the Americans, Boris Pash was coming to take Frédéric and Irene Joliot-Curie to safety. Pash found Joliot-Curie in his lab, which was still covered in stamped swastikas, even though the Germans had all been chased out.
I just don't. Why do they do that? Why do the Nazis always they always show up? It's like the first thing they do is change the decor.
Well, it's because they are unoriginal, and what they want to do is they want to rewrite history. You know, it's we're going to get into that here in a little bit, like how they truly tried to rewrite history. But if they stamp everything with swastikas enough, then people will start to think, swastikas have always been there. That it's a subconscious thing. Like, the Nazis must have done that. It's got a swastika on it.
Absolutely. It doesn't take long.
Yeah. And with that, Alsos had its first victory in their mission to secure a nuclear physicist who'd been floating in the wind. Now, by the fall of 1944, the Manhattan Project was still a little less than a year out from even successfully testing a bomb, and they still had no clue where the Germans might be building it or how far along they were. See, even though it was almost certain that the Allies were on track for victory on the European front, an atomic bomb could still be a silver bullet of sorts for the Nazis.
Of course.
Yeah. At the very least, if they didn't have enough to hold the world hostage, they could also use that atomic weapon to make the largest suicide bomb in history.
You got that. And then, of course, as we know, with aforementioned Scientology, their fantastic film, Battlefield Earth, Leverage. They get the bomb. That deal coming out of WW2 would look a fuck ton different.
Yeah.
Oh, it would. And then they are also, we were very concerned about just them using radiation poisoning in general.
Yeah.
Just like between the dirty bombs or just leaving uranium out. Like you just would leave it and drop it off places because you can't smell or taste or feel radiation poisoning. It just happens to you. So there's a whole interesting chapter in the Bastard Brigade about the geologists that helped figure out like how we could find out things are, if areas were nuclear before we went to it. Because they thought that they would just start throwing uranium places and poisoning our advance as we went.
As a matter of fact, I think this is a great job for Wild Bill. Bill, why don't you go lick the mountain for a while and see if you get dead?
No, licking. What is licking?
With your tongue, which you do with your wife, perhaps? Cunnilingus?
Okay, now this is... You mean my mouth penis?
Yes, your mouth penis. Just go lick the mountain and see if there's uranium in it.
Yeah, I guess I should because I'm just a shadow.
And that's what became of those people.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Well, to the point of the uranium, it was known that the Germans were in possession of hundreds of tons of the stuff. See, when Germany conquered Belgium, they gained access to all of Belgium's colonies. These territories included the Congo, which had the largest uranium mines in the entire world. But once Belgium was liberated in September of 1944, Pash tracked down a good amount of uranium, 30 tons.
Wow.
That's a lot of fucking uranium.
That is a lot.
It is.
That uranium was then sent to the United States, where it was processed. And funnily enough, here's a fun little bit of trivia for you.
All right.
That's the uranium that was used in the bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima.
Wow.
Hey.
Now that's some fun trivia.
Wow, good.
Yeah, from Belgium to Baden-Baden to Los Alamos.
Wow.
Straight to Japan.
That's where my Oma and Opa lived, was Baden-Baden.
Really?
Yes, I was many times in the Black Forest. It was very fun, beautiful forest. Gorgeous land, actually.
Well, we'll actually get to the Black Forest here in a bit.
No
you can
kidding.
possibly reminisce a little bit.
I had fantastic memories. We would go find castles. It's cool.
Do they have a thing called, I feel like, because they went through, it's the lines that they use are actually very similar to the Nazi rat lines that they use later on, because America would also travel to Europe via South America. It was very interesting. They have to go from the trampoline to freedom to bounce that uranium all the way around the world to get back to America.
Yeah.
But the problem was, it was known that the Nazis had been in possession of 1,000 tons of uranium.
Okay.
970 tons were still unaccounted for.
That's a lot.
The mission of finding it was given to Boris Pash, who would take the rest of the war to accomplish that mission.
Wow. So he's better than Hans Blix.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Remember
yeah,
that? WMDs?
He's going to find that yellow cake, my friend. Meanwhile, the Allies were also closing in on Werner Heisenberg. His secret lab was located deep within Germany's Black Forest.
Uh-oh. That's where bears can talk and lions roar and cats are people and God, there's more food than ever before.
Heisenberg is such a little bitch. You wrote a whole paper. So we got into philosophy during this time period while he was working on the bomb, because his whole thing was he wrote an entire paper basically exonerating himself. How he made himself.
He's writing
philosophically, he wrote a paper basically saying, philosophically, I'm just a scientist. And these sciences, you can't attach any sort of meaning to this science. And he did a whole, it was like a 300-page book about why he was innocent.
Well, I do understand from a scientist perspective, I don't necessarily think that they have ill intent.
Mm-hmm.
They just do it. They create the art or
they were
the
making
science.
an atomic bomb.
They were making an atomic bomb for the Nazis.
I understand.
They knew they weren't making this in a vacuum. They knew exactly where the bomb was going.
Beauty of the Black Forest more. The trees are very big. And there's little rocks you can climb. And there's a bunch of bugs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you find any, Allied bodies out there, German bodies, Nazi bodies?
No, didn't find any Nazi bodies.
Nazi gold, Nazi loot?
Nope, didn't find any Nazi loot. There was a castle, which was a cafe. And
you can find that. That's just a place on the side of the road.
No, it was in the Black Forest, but yes, it was touristy.
Yeah.
But then there was other stuff. Yeah, fun stuff.
Rise from your grave.
Courage. I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Well, for the Kidnap Heisenberg mission, the OSS chose a guy named Carl Eifler, who was pretty much the stereotype of the tough-as-nails special forces spy soldier who snapped necks and broke hearts, all while being a family man.
The worst thing is, man, I loved you, and then you're going to go and kill me?
Yeah. He's sort of like Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that sort of guy.
I'm going to ask this to our audience. SideStoriesLPOTL@gmail.com. Every single Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, there is a beautiful woman all over that man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being kissed by Arnold Schwarzenegger? I feel like there is nothing less sexy. I think it's not about the muscles. It's about that big fucking face.
He has no lips. He has no lips.
Wait a second. No, I'm not going to allow this.
Closer going,
No. Pierogi Boy and Can't. No.
You're such a pleasant face.
This is absolutely Pierogi Boy and Can't Breathe over here. No. Arnold Schwarzenegger is an iconic sex icon. Like literally a sex icon.
He is?
Are you fucking insane? Am I literally insane?
I'm coming.
He redefined what masculinity is for an entire generation.
Get to the chopper, I'm coming.
I think this is that's so adorable that you guys actually think for 1 second a woman is turned off by Arnold Schwarzenegger, a man who has only succeeded at every single thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
And if he was allowed to run for president, would win.
But masculinity has nothing to do with sexuality, and his sexuality has nothing to do with him succeeding. He's merely an immigrant success story, then.
Wrong. Another reason why he's hot.
Side Stories LPOTL.
No, you guys are just so wrong.
I mean, the body, yeah, but the head, come on.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He has no lips.
You know what? I'm not even.
He has no lips.
I am not going.
Come close.
Am I wrong, Fernando? No. He is literally.
You had me at hello.
He's literally one of the most. He's considered one of the most sexy human beings that's ever. It's just wow. It's just wow that you guys would even think for a second to wow. Yeah, of course he has hot women.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you again, I'm not gay.
He apologized for grabbing butts.
He did.
He apologized for grabbing butts. He did recently.
Right. Yeah. Well, Carl Eifler, he had made his reputation in a mission that seemed to be a forerunner for quite a few future CIA operations. See if you can tell a pattern here.
Okay.
In 1943, Eifler had led 10,000 Burmese citizens in hit-and-run attacks against Japanese forces. At the end of it, the Japanese lost 15,000 troops, while Eifler had lost only 85.
Oh, I don't see a lot of similarities there at all with what the CIA would later do.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but it seems like Eifler's mission was the template for using local forces to advance American interests, whether it be the CIA's early role in Vietnam as military advisors, the securing of corporate interests in South America for the United Fruit Company, flipping Iran to a theocracy, supporting Osama bin Laden in Afghanistan, or any of the others in the vast menagerie of CIA goof-em-ups.
Don't forget about Saddam.
Don't forget about Saddam.
What is this? So 43. So it started in 47. The CIA. So yeah, we're right. They're just about to start fucking a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and say no. Yeah, no, it's got nothing to do with that.
Yeah, nothing to do with it.
They also did a whole bunch. I covered this on series, the Lavender Scare.
Yeah,
where they lumped a bunch of gay people in with communists. There was a bunch of the CIA started off hot.
Yeah, they did start off real hot.
But that's I was thinking about it because of the Pride tweet that they had the audacity to tweet out. The CIA. Don't worry, they're Pride.
But I was thinking, because it's very similar to the Bene Gesserit plan in Dune, where they would go ahead and plant planets with archetypal religious stories that would work their way into their culture. And then later on, they would go to complete those religious ideals in a way that was completely manufactured to gain control over the population.
What does it have to do with Dune?
Something.
Okay. It's tangent. Okay, all right.
Well, I'm fighting a one-man war against the state. It is me versus Florida versus my mother's garage.
It's okay.
Well, I think really what this is, it's a lot like as it went with rooting out the communists. Many of the ways in which America fucked up massively throughout the 20th century and beyond, a lot of that shit had its roots in World War II because a lot of those methods worked at least once. And so they figure if it worked in World War II, it can work again. But the thing is that we keep hitting our fucking heads against the wall over and over again, trying the same shit that worked in the 40s and expecting it to still work today.
It's also against like the most pure black and white enemies we've ever had. So it's like all of the templates are incorrect. Yeah. Like it's like they did all of this shit and it's like, no, World War II was this 7-year period that was that all of that shit was in play, and then that's it. But yes, we are just in love with ourselves.
Yeah, they're still stiffing our butts about World War II.
Well, hey, why not? We'll take it. We'll take it. I'll take a little butt sniffing on that. They say history.
We've lost 4 wars since.
we
lost
but you know what?
4 wars.
We've had 4 wars too. And isn't that important? Isn't that important? How much money has been made?
And isn't it better to have had a war and lose it than to never have the war at all?
But it does seem as if even if we lose, a lot of people seem to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, we're talking about Karl Eifler here.
Yes.
After he was done leading the Burmese against the Japanese, he was sent back to America, and that's where he met Wild Bill Donovan. And Wild Bill gave Eifler the assignment of kidnapping Werner Heisenberg. Now, the plan put together for Eifler began with a ruse, where Eifler would pose as an American customs agent traveling to Switzerland.
Okay.
Once there, he would meet a team of commandos, break into Heisenberg's lab, knock Heisenberg out, smuggle him to Switzerland, steal a plane, and fly back to England.
Why does this sound exactly like the plan from Mallrats that Silent Bob has to get the goddamn...
It's very similar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But this was vetoed by Eifler because he also hated the British. Refused to work with him.
Man, these British guys, I don't know what they did to make everybody so mad. I don't know what happened. No one likes what they did during World War II. None of them are happy with it. They tried. Churchill was fine.
No, Churchill was
I don't think he was
fine.
funny as that stupid movie made him out to be.
No, and they were quite resilient, during the Blitz and all that. They were very resilient. Dunkirk was it was huge. It was a defeat, to be sure. It was a huge defeat.
Churchill
massive
fucking
defeat. But it was a good story.
Sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's better to have had a war and lost than never had one.
Remember the Alamo. Churchill literally, peak war, every day, 3 p.m., he had to take a nap.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Hey, but that got him through.
He didn't do anything. He's like, Bill Gates just bought the IP. He did not. Churchill didn't do shit. He killed so many people.
No, you got to smoke a cigar. You got to have the bowler hat.
Yes.
He did a lot of stuff.
The war was hard. I only had a nap for a half hour today.
But he started every day with a scotch. Drank a lot of brandy.
That's also more to my point. I can do that.
Gissel, I think that you should lower the rage and see more of yourself in Winston Churchill and how you will one day be a true leader of men, because that's all it takes.
I can't wait for the knock on the door when you guys are both there and it's called something like an intervention, because I've been channeling my inner Winston Churchill by getting hammered at 10 a.m.
I'm just Winston Churchill. I'm just Winston Churchilling right now.
Start sneaking red wine into my Diet Coke bottles.
Well, instead of the British plan,
it's just your teeth and lips are just purple all day.
Nice thing is they have no idea I'm fucking hammered.
Well, instead of the British plan, Eifler designed an even wackier plan where he would impersonate a German general. After parachuting in, he would find a German general's outfit. He'd just impersonate a German general. Then on brass balls alone, he'd kidnap Heisenberg and bring Heisenberg back to America himself.
So what Chris Farley and David Spade did.
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah.
Come with me.
One of the sexiest men alive. I will go with you and we can come together.
Come with me, little girl.
Yeah, gross and misinterpretation of Arnie's accent. But Tommy Boy, David Spade, Chris Farley had to get on that plane. I've got a plan. And then they take the stewardess outfit there. Mm-hmm. Well, it has nothing to do with this. It really
is there
nothing to do with it.
Is there an old lady taking a nasty shit anywhere? Can you connect that to this story at all? That was a big part.
I'm thinking Prune Brothers.
That was a big part of that scene. Remember when the old lady
taking a nasty shit? Yeah. Either way,
good Lord.
It does seem, and I don't want to, again, it does seem like he's going to be racist though. because you're going to go and you're going to try to be a German. I would love to see what he does as it just like put sauerkraut in his beard. Just God.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when Eifler asked what he should do with Heisenberg if the two of them were captured by Nazis, Donovan gave him full permission to shoot Heisenberg in the head.
Oh,
awesome.
However, it soon became clear that Eifler's plan was a bit far-fetched, not to mention quite dark. So the operation was handed over to a group that included Mo Berg.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're going to this guy, and his only concern is about, like, he's just excited to shoot somebody in the head.
Right.
And like, because then he's sitting there because, like, I can always shoot him. I'm like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We know. And he's like, listen, his head's right there. What if I strangle him? It's like, yeah, sure, a lot of options. We prefer him safe. But what if I drown him? If we get him, and if you can run a bath, tell him I'm going to make him relax, and then I kill him.
It's good to have that as an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, heading up that team was a Swiss physicist named Paul Scherrer, codename Flute. Flute had been friends with Heisenberg, so he, Mo, and another scientist named Samuel Gaudsmit formulated a plan to meet Heisenberg at a conference in Zurich.
Did he whistle when he talked? Like, guys, please don't call me Flute. I can't do it, but
he could have had a huge fucking cock.
Oh, yeah.
But skinny and long.
Yeah. All right.
Well, once they were at this conference in Zurich, they figured they could interrogate Heisenberg on the spot or kidnap him or maybe kill him. But what they really needed was to gain intelligence on the German nuclear program.
What if I take a little bomb and I put it in his food? It goes down to his stomach and explodes his belly.
Another good idea. Let's try to keep him alive just for now.
Nah, to the chopper.
No.
That, however, like almost all things Alsos, soon became unnecessary.
Yeah. This whole thing is about unnecessary shit.
Right.
It just could have been cool.
Well, during the liberation of France, a treasure trove of documents were found at the Reich University at Strasbourg, which was located right across the border from Germany. This Reich University was one of three whose main purposes were to spread propaganda and indoctrinate students in Nazi ideology. If the Nazis had won, this would be where Mengele would have gone to teach after the war.
See, it's just like CRT, what they're doing with our kids now. It's just like that. It's just like Nazi Germany trying to explain racial disparities of the past. It's just like Nazi Germany.
But so-called Aryan physics had been taught at the Reich University as well.
What are Aryan physics? Is it different than other physics?
It's different
shit.
from
It's literally dumb shit physics.
They did actually they told Heisenberg that he wasn't allowed to teach the Jew physics of Albert Einstein. He had to teach Aryan physics instead.
It's physics. It doesn't know your nationality.
Basically, they were not allowed to because most of the Jewish population, the scientist community, were the ones that created all the stuff about quantum mechanics. And that changed the face of physics. But the Nazis didn't like it because a Jewish person came up with it. So they were like, no, we use Euclidean physics here.
That's all you can do. Physics. Perpetual motion.
Drop a feather.
Well, one of the professors at the Reich University was the son of the Nazi Secretary of State. His name was Karl von Weizsäcker.
Oh, mama.
And he regularly corresponded with Werner Heisenberg. Well, soon into the search, also scientist Samuel Gaudsmit found letters that contained Heisenberg's address and telephone number.
Wow.
But
Maybe don't put that on the letters?
But most importantly, the letters clearly stated that the Nazis hadn't made progress on their nuclear program since 1942. This is 1944.
So this is like Brett Favre texting the governor of Mississippi being like, do you think this is illegal? When they literally they put it in like everything is fucked. We're totally failing.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's a letter.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what fucking happened.
But the problem is the Groves was like, the thing about these Nazis, all they do is 4D chess. It's a lie, and a lie, and a lie, and a lie. And you're like, he's not incorrect. This entire section of Manhattan Project is truly, not to be, they were correct too, but they overestimated the Nazis. There's a lot of people that really assumed that the Nazis were like just about to fuck up everybody at all times, and that they were this like unstoppable machine, but they didn't really understand up to that point. It's like, nah, actually, mostly it was a lot of like incoherent psychopaths and dweebs that just fucked everything up again and again and again from the inside out.
But at the same time, the Nazis were also highly dangerous and very scary. Very.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and their shit, the Blitzkrieg was fucking terrifying.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't know that it's just a bunch of fucking meth heads and tanks,
right.
Which is
even scarier in some ways. Yeah, it's Sweet Tooth, from Twisted Metal.
Actually, and we kind of stole, that's very American. That's how I view that now. It's just like, because you just let meth go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That would be a great arm.
Well, because General Groves dismissed the letters as disinformation, neither the production of the bomb nor the hunt for Heisenberg slowed down for a second. Oppenheimer, meanwhile, wasn't doing Groves' paranoia any favors. He started speculating. He started saying, hey, now that I think about it, maybe the Germans aren't enriching uranium the same way that we're doing it. Maybe they don't need these big factories that we're having to use to build this stuff. Maybe, now that I'm really thinking about it, maybe this science is so new that this German atomic bomb could be built like anywhere.
Like with witchcraft.
Oppie, all right, I'm going to tell you now, Oppie, honestly, I don't need this shit right now. Okay. I'm already just kind of, I'm like doing a bunch of shit at once.
But if you like think about it,
I'm a general, not a specific. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what else. I don't know what you're saying. You think too much, Oppie. I need you to just think this direction. I need you to just think in another way.
But it is good to be scared. Keep you on your toes. It's war.
Yeah.
It's fit to be scared.
Yeah.
But tragically for the Alsos mission scientists at the Reich University, they stumbled upon an entirely different kind of Nazi research in their quest for atomic knowledge. See, the Reich University had been the home of Heinrich Himmler's Ahnenerbe Institute, a.k.a. the Legacy of Ancestors. Der Ahnenerbe were the guys who...
Oh, is it? That was not the new, add-on to Elder Scrolls?
Yeah, I think so. It's a $100, 30-minute extra piece of land.
Well, Der Ahnenerbe were the guys who went on archaeological expeditions all over the world. These were the guys that went to Tibet, the ones who went to Ukraine. These were the guys
These are Nazis?
These are Nazis.
You have any idea how difficult it is to be a Nazi in Tibet? Because there's all these people being like, you don't have to do that. The symbol is Buddhist.
You don't exist.
It's a Buddhist symbol.
You don't exist.
So literally, they did see a bunch of Nazi symbols, but it probably was just Buddhist.
Well, that's... Okay, you just kind of broke my brain in trying to explain that.
Well, that's what they were trying to prove.
I'm trying to untie that knot, and I'm not sure. Yeah, can Henry help me out?
Basically, the Nazis were kind of banking on that, which is why they stole it in the first place, and then they went there to kind of backwards prove that everything that they said about being a Nazi was correct, and that it was like this natural thing, and it was this powerful force, and it came from the universe itself, and that so they used that to retroactively when we were seeing the swastika. Most of Europe did not know that it was this ancient other symbol. So then they would go and use this school to cover all of these ancient things and see, look, no, we've always been there.
Yeah.
These guys are all ancient Nazis.
Yeah, they can go. They went they measured like the noses and the faces and the bone structure of Tibetans, and to try to prove, because that's the thing, is that these guys were high on their own bullshit. They believed what they were teaching. They were all this shit was coming down from Himmler.
Because they had to.
Yeah, they absolutely
They
had
literally
to.
fucking had to.
And they were therefore also involved heavily in Heinrich Himmler's occult studies. All of this shit was tied in with the Thule Society. But in their attempt to prove the racial superiority of Aryans, members of Himmler's Ahnenerbe mutilated and dissected human beings, and even kept a collection of Jewish skeletons sourced from the Dachau concentration camp. Once the Alsos team opened the doors to the Institute, the Legacy of Ancestors, they found severed human limbs left behind in mid-dissection, and they were faced with giant tanks full of alcohol containing floating human corpses.
This is a scene from Wolfenstein.
Yeah, it is.
Wolfenstein, and also House of a Thousand Corpses, Dr. Satan. This is just nasty.
Yeah. Well, most likely, those corpses have been a result of the Polygol experiments. In these, a victim would be given a tablet of a substance called polygol, which was made from beets and apples.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's organic.
At this point,
so it can be sold at Erewhon.
It's not that bad at this point, but
the victims would then be shot through the neck or the chest, or they would have their limbs amputated without anesthetic while they were still alive, all to see what effect polygol might have on blood coagulation.
What effect did it have?
Nothing. It's beets and apples.
Yeah, why I don't, but what's even this is the Nazi side?
Well,
this is Nazi physics?
All I know is if you take 15 of them, your poo-poo gets all crazy.
I would imagine.
I never know. And sometimes I forget that I took it the night before.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh, shit, I have cancer. I have cancer. And then it's just been like, oh, no, I was taking my beet pills.
Right.
Well, these corpses could have also been a result of the Nazis' extreme pressure and temperature experiments, which rivaled the experiments performed by Japan's Unit 731 in their savagery. This was the type of stuff to see, like, how high can pilots go? How much frost can they take? How much heat can they take? Like, these were Unit 731 type shit.
It's the wet hands and the freezing cold temperatures being hit with the stick.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, those things are so nasty.
Yeah, some of the scientists who saw this shit, they had to go home.
I would go home.
Yeah, Samuel Gautzman had a mental breakdown. And he just said, like, I got to go home.
Because it's going to go home.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mo Burgers is going like, the thing is, that's why you got to switch pitches, right? Because at the end, your first pitch, you got to have that relief pitcher. Yeah. And that's
Mo, this has nothing to do with baseball, Mo. Nothing to do with baseball.
No, listen.
Oh, God
all right,
damn it.
a severed hand is kind of like a catcher's mitt.
Uh-huh.
Now, let me tell you how you got to do it. You got to be careful.
Now, right as Germany was engaging in their last-ditch effort to drive back the Americans and push the British into the sea, that was the Battle of the Bulge, the Nazi media began suggesting that this was when they would finally use an atomic bomb, which would win the war in an instant. This was actually a genius bit of propaganda, because an atomic bomb would have been just about the only way for Germany to win the Battle of the Bulge. The most capable German soldiers were by this time either captured or dead, and the army was near the end of their resources and equipment capabilities. The German people knew all of this. The Manhattan Project, however, wasn't taking any chances.
No.
They were still on the Heisenberg case, and on December 18th, Heisenberg gave a lecture to 20 fellow physicists, and the audience was Mo Berg, who had concealed on his person a Beretta pistol.
Ooh, cool.
Yes, he put it inside his giant, extravagant wig. And then he had a lasso inside of his beautifully laced corset as he was dressed as the absolutely sensuous Velvoli Roberti, an Italian mistress of propaganda.
In no way a former catcher for the White Sox.
Ciao. I'm here to take you out on a date. I heard you like physics.
Well, Mo's assignment was simply to just kill Heisenberg after the lecture. We're not going to get him. We're not going to kidnap her. Just fucking kill him. But by the end of Heisenberg's 2-hour talk, Mo Berg just couldn't do it. He wasn't a murderer.
Oh, come on, Mo. This is why you never won the big World Series.
Dude, do you have any idea how many assassination attempts were stopped against Celine Dion? Once she hit, it's all coming back to me now. And they're sitting there and they're just being like, I can't kill this incredible woman.
Well, I just really hope that Celine's doing well. She has a severe illness.
She does. Her bones are calcifying.
Yep.
It sounds like a horrific disease.
I chose a random name.
Yes.
I literally it just came from the ether. I forgot that
she has
she's got
a real illness.
like frozen syndrome. Yeah, no, I know this. I'm sorry.
Is it locked in? I think she is like locked in or something.
It's slowly becoming locked in.
I wouldn't make jokes about her.
It's locked out syndrome.
Absolutely. That's just, it's bad taste beyond.
I think it's horrible. It's almost like someone from Florida would say that.
Right now, they're looking for a proper locksmith because she has locked out syndrome, which means she can't get back into her own brain.
Wow.
And she's just watching it from the side. It's really very sad. I should have chose Michael Bublé.
Yeah, Michael Bublé.
Hot down there in Florida, huh?
Really hot down there.
I must sleep. I am on a bed. My parents got a futon on discount, and it's a slant. I'm sleeping at a 25 to 30 degree slant. I am in one of those air prisons.
Wow.
On the side of a mountain.
All right.
I woke up pooled at the end of my own bed.
Well, that's good.
I'm sore. I saw a bunch of pictures of myself at 300 pounds.
Right.
I just need to move forward today.
Yeah, absolutely. You're having a rough go of it.
I gotta get out of here.
Well, Moe couldn't bring himself to kill Heisenberg, so he took a less violent route. Flute hosted a dinner party in Heisenberg's honor, and that was where a much simpler plan was enacted.
Okay.
They were going to get him drunk and see if they could get him to talk about the atomic bomb.
That's so much nicer than killing him.
It's
like so much nicer. Well, what if we could kill him?
Literally, Moe Berg is sitting there. Moe Berg is literally like, all right, I'll put a bullet in his brain, or we could have a party.
Yeah. Huh. Feed him a bunch, get him drunk.
I get two? I get some?
Heisenberg's like, what about the other idea? That second idea's fun.
A dinner party. But Heisenberg was more interested in talking about Nazis and how they related to his beloved Germany.
Yeah, he honestly pontificated again about why he's innocent.
Yeah. After his tongue was loosened by wine, Heisenberg said that the good people of Germany were being demonized. The Nazis, they was the last bulwark between civilized Europe and this coming Red Horde. And besides, the Nazis hadn't really done that bad stuff to the Jews.
Yeah, really nothing more civilized than attempting to take on an entire continent. That is so civilized.
No, he's a full apologist.
Yeah. Finally, though, after all that blustering, Heisenberg admitted that Germany was going to lose the war. However, he still said, quote,
"But it would have been so good if we had won."
That's it?
Yeah.
But it would have been good if we would have won?
That's it.
Everyone's dead. And then your response is, but it would have been good if we would have won.
Everything, he's the Sarah Jessica Parker of the Nazi party. Every single thing is about Heisenberg.
Right.
You can't, it's all about him and what he's dealing with at all times.
Hitler's like his Mr. Big, and are they going to get back together or aren't they?
I don't know. I actually kind of feel like he might be closer to a Kim Cattrall.
Oh, sexy.
Well, Heisenberg's thing was that he loved Germany. That he loved Germany so much that he figured, it's like, well, when the Nazis, let the Nazis have a good time, and then they'll tire themselves out, and then after that, and Germany will get back to normal. But then Germany will be on top of the world, which is what we should have been doing in the first place.
Oh, this is like if you go on a date and they just start talking about Andrew Tate. It's like, oh my God, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's like loving, it's like, I love this carousel. Yeah, my mom's getting raped on it, but I love the carousel. Like, I just love the horses and I love the poles.
Yeah, again, taking aggression out on his mother.
It was just a random relationship that I assumed. This is not written. I don't follow a script. Right. This is just me making shit up in a room in Florida.
It's been a slow meltdown, hasn't it?
Slow?
I mean,
a slow meltdown?
Interesting.
It feels like a very rapid melt.
Yeah.
I feel like a Zycam under the
A
tongue.
lot going on in this episode.
Well, in the end, Heisenberg still kept his wits about him to keep quiet about the bomb.
Okay.
And when Berg reached deep down once again, they said, if you can't get him to talk at the party, you're going to have to kill him. Ugh. He still couldn't do it.
Moe! This is the one man, he had a chance, but he has a chance to get one. He can actually get a righteous murder. Not easy to get one.
He has soft skills. He's a talker. He's a charismatic. He's a spy, not an assassin. And I really do think that there's an inherent difference because you have to, because Eifler was the assassin. If you wanted to get that dude has been thinking about different ways to kill this guy and fuck the hotel maid all day. Like, he's ready to go.
All right.
Rise from your grave.
This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. It's so important to remember with the busyness of the holidays, every holiday, Arbor Day, that day about the planet, President's Day. There's so many things to adapt to in this life, and it doesn't follow a perfect plan. God, ruins the whole weekend. But therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, it can be a space to pause, reevaluate, and adjust to any unexpected changes. With over 30,000 therapists worldwide, BetterHelp is one of the leading online therapy platforms, having served millions of people globally. BetterHelp makes it easier to fit therapy into your routine. You're in good hands, too. BetterHelp therapists have at least 3 years and 1,000 hours of hands-on experience, and hold all required education, training, and certifications. It's easy to do, and the help is better over there. You don't have to navigate life's changes alone. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lastpod. That's betterhelp.com/lastpod.
Now, after the Allies won the Battle of the Bulge, it was all but over for the Nazis. But behind the troops overrunning Germany was Boris Pash, who was still on the lookout for those 970 tons of missing uranium.
Yeah.
See, since the Nazis were kaput, Boris's mission was no longer about preventing the Germans from building the bomb. Rather, it was about keeping the Russians from finding the uranium.
Yes, how quick the friend turns to an enemy.
Mm-hmm. Well, by this time, Germany had already been split up into the 4 zones controlled by the Allies, and it was discovered that the uranium was in the Soviet-controlled zone. Pash had therefore made it his own personal crusade to secure the uranium for America to keep it out of the hands of the godless communists.
Wow, and you know it's American uranium. They put a little flag on it, and they listen to some good old-fashioned Carter sisters.
Well, the higher-ups soon agreed and said to hell with the Russians. So in less than a week, Pash organized 260 vehicles packed with men who all worked together to steal 970 tons of uranium right out from under the Soviets' noses.
Where do you put it? Do they have Jinkos? How do you get all that out?
They loaded it up into 960 trucks.
Wow.
He brought in because it's Germany in 1944. It's fucking chaos everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, this, of course, made the Soviets furious because they'd been planning on using that uranium ore for their own nuclear program.
Oh, guys, come on. That was for our nuclear program.
Yeah. And while it would be an oversimplification to say that Boris Pash started the Cold War, he does have the dubious distinction of being one of the men who fired the first symbolic shots.
All right.
He was happy to contribute.
Now, even though Alsos was ultimately unneeded when it came to the Manhattan Project because Germany had no chance of making a bomb, Mo, Boris, and the rest of the crew nevertheless ended up serving an important function. It was pretty much in the same ballpark as the mission to steal the uranium. See, when the war was nearing its end, Alsos had already been on the hunt for members of Germany's uranium club. So when the dust began to settle, the Americans were perfectly positioned to scoop up as many nuclear physicists as they could find.
I just imagine it's like, you know, those things where you have to catch all the dollar bills.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like that thing when they're shooting up everywhere, but it's just like, screaming Germans.
But you know what you do there? You would let the dollar bills come to you.
Press yourself against the wall,
Yes.
allow it to amass around you.
Yes.
Now, this wasn't necessary to the Manhattan Project because, as opposed to our space program, the Nazis had absolutely nothing to offer us in terms of atomic knowledge. At this point, Oppenheimer's right on the cusp of building a working prototype.
Yeah, remember, yada, yada, yada. They've been doing a lot of science.
Yeah. Were the Germans still trying to convert shit into gold?
Alchemy?
Yeah, weren't they wasn't Hitler into alchemy?
Well, they were building the big, they had the big gun.
Yeah.
I forget what the V3. So they had that giant, what was supposed to be this meters long gun that shot 9-foot bullets. And apparently Hitler, what they would talk about is that he loved giant works.
Yeah.
So anytime you
mistake.
told him that the most concrete that ever been poured in Eastern Europe, it's like he loved to hear that. So that's where he was focusing a lot of his energy because he said he had a dream at first. He had a dream that the V2 program wouldn't work. And so he halted everything because he had this dream. And Albert Speer had to come and convince Hitler, he was the quote unquote reasonable Nazi that would say hey, we have to think about all of these things because, it's kind of important. I know your dreams are great, Adolf. We love them.
Yeah.
Everybody loves them here. But that's what they were pouring all of their resources in, was this thing of just trying, because they were trying to, one program they had was to attach a bomb to a tiny plane that would attach to a big plane so they could fly it across the Atlantic to drop another plane to bomb New York because he was obsessed with bombing New York.
Yeah. You really wanted to bomb New York.
We're going to a big plane to drop a little plane that has a big bomb. Makes all the sense in the world.
Well, the point of bringing the Uranium Club members to our side was that we didn't know what they knew. And if we kept these Nazis on ice, it would prevent them from being captured by the Soviets. This mission came to be known as Operation Big. At the same time, though, General Groves and the rest were starting to realize that those letters from Heisenberg that were found at the Reich University, those were genuine. When Alsos caught up to Uranium Club member Walter Botha, he proudly showed off the cyclotron that he'd just gotten running by war's end.
See?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right on time, pal. Also, Operation Big, 13-year-old makes a wish on a boardwalk, becomes mad, and then is technically raped by a woman.
Did she sleep with him, or did he just fill her up?
She had sex with him, and she thought that his boyish character was charming. He was a boy indeed.
He was indeed a boy.
I'd be fucking pissed
When you really
off.
take the movie apart, it really is very sad.
Also, there's another movie, 13 going on 30. There's something wrong with Hollywood.
Yeah. So that's weird.
Holly weird.
They seem to love the 13, but like pretend they're older.
Yeah.
It was back in the day.
It was like 10 years. No, anyway, we'll go on.
I mean, I would say it's more to do with, wanting to play to the adolescent fantasies of the audience, that a 13-year-old would like to see, what if I was big and got to sleep with that woman, instead of it being an indictment on their own personal fantasies of being an older
13,
woman, because there weren't really any older women that were in charge in Hollywood.
As a 13-year-old who was big, it's fucking a nightmare. So you're just supposed to be an adult, but then you're not. So.
Well, Samuel Goldsmith, when he was shown Walter Botha's cyclotron, he could barely stifle a giggle, because what Botha had built was an after-school science project compared to the cyclotrons that had been developed back in America.
Wow.
Even so, though, the top priority was to track down Heisenberg's so-called uranium machine, and ultimately Heisenberg himself, still in the wind. Now, after the Battle of the Bulge, Heisenberg's military exemption was revoked. Almost everyone left alive in Germany following the battle were drafted into the Volkssturm, the People's Militia. This is just old men, women, little kids. They were all expected to die for Hitler in a symbolic mass suicide. Throw yourself...
About that, though. How mass? How big?
Exactly.
Well, Heisenberg, of course, had no interest in doing such a thing. So he teamed up with his buddy Carl von Weizsäcker to continue atomic research on his own in the middle of a war zone. Riding their bicycles through Germany and leaping to the side of the road to avoid bombs, Heisenberg and von Weizsäcker secured some heavy water. Then they biked the heavy water back to Heisenberg's secret lab that was in a cave near the village of Hagerloch.
Okay.
There, Heisenberg performed one last nuclear experiment, but it still fell short. Although this was the furthest the Nazi atomic bomb project ever got, Heisenberg never achieved a fully self-sustaining chain reaction. In fact, he had never even built anything as good as what the American team had built in Chicago 3 years earlier, the pile.
Wow.
However, I did just realize something. This is what he accomplished when he was left alone for 2 months. 2 months, he's left alone in a cave, and this is what he accomplishes. Imagine if he wasn't in the middle of a fucking war zone. Imagine if he hadn't been forced to go to Nazi dinner parties and rallies and all that other bullshit, and they would have just left him alone like the Americans did with Oppenheimer. Put him in the desert and let him do his fucking thing.
Sounds like the origin of Tony Stark and Iron Man by the movie's calculation.
It shows one of the true inherent flaws that are why, in the end, fascism is a non-sustainable government.
Yeah.
Because when you're in that sort of ideologue center, you can't get, like, yes, a lot of people who are quote unquote pro-fascist believe it's because, they make simple decisions and then things can get done, quote unquote. But obviously they fucking don't, because they're all so in love with themselves that they can't get anything fucking done.
They just end up with massive blocks of concrete. That was the legacy. That's all they had. That's what the legacy of the Third Reich was in Germany.
And you notice it's all the stuff that they quote unquote that they did on a mass scale was just pain. Yeah, which is actually an extremely. We talk about destroying things much easier than creating something. Like it doesn't take that much cleverness to create a place. It's a concentrated group of the place of pain. This is something else. And I just think Heisenberg's such a bitch.
Yeah, he is a bitch. He absolutely is.
Bold statements about that Nazi.
He's a bitch, but that does not mean he's any less brilliant, unfortunately.
Sure.
But when it became obvious,
you know what though? I'm actually saying it does make him slightly less brilliant.
It does. I think his choices show.
I mean, as
your
a
personal
person,
choices show.
Yeah. As a person, it does make
in the whole. I'm talking the whole pie.
In the whole pie. Okay, yeah. So he's less emotionally intelligent because he's a narcissist and half a sociopath.
Yes.
But when it comes to pure scientific brilliance, he's one of the smartest men of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
But he would have followed where the good science was, and he would have went with all the other scientists who ran away. That's my other thing. A true good scientist would also see, no good science is being done here.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. Well, he was a bad person. Yeah. But he wanted to eat his cake and have it too. R.I.P. Ted Kaczynski.
His yellow cake.
Yeah.
God, so sad. Another hero gone. Who do we look to?
But when it became obvious that all was truly lost and that either the Americans or the Soviets were on their way, Heisenberg and his team hid their assets and abandoned the cave lab. Boris Pash soon arrived and blew it up.
Cool.
Yeah. Then Pash began searching the nearby village for Uranium Club scientists. There he found Otto Hahn with his bags packed. Yeah, he's just ready to go.
Gotta go.
Yes, it's Blue Jean. Love Blue Jean baseball.
Hahn directed Pash to 3,000 pounds of heavy water that Heisenberg had hidden in a mill just in case. They had fucking cut up 2 tons of uranium into cubes and hidden and buried them in a field. And as far as their technical reports went, Heisenberg had hidden them in an active septic tank. This is one of the this right here is one of the greatest quirks of history. When the tank was opened, the Alsos team found pretty much the entire archive of the Nazi atomic bomb project in what amounted to a big bucket of shit.
Wow, it's
so
ironic
deeply
indeed.
symbolic. It's
Yes.
so crazy.
Oh my God, I'm surprised he didn't just dip his balls in it.
If I knew it was that kind of party, I'd stick my dick in the mashed potatoes.
Absolutely. The State, a successful television show, briefly.
Heisenberg, meanwhile, was surviving in the chaos. Yes, I remember the State.
You remember the State.
I'll dip my balls in
I'll
it.
dip my balls in it.
Ken Marino, yeah.
I mean, they might as well, because nothing they were doing was working.
Yeah. Well, Heisenberg, meanwhile, was surviving in the chaos of Germany only by the grace of God and through bribery. Since he hadn't reported for the duty in
Mostly the bribery.
Mostly
let's
the
be
bribery,
honest.
yeah. Since he hadn't reported for duty in the Volkssturm, he was technically supposed to be executed on the spot for desertion.
Wow.
And indeed, an SS officer almost killed him for just that. But he was only stopped when Heisenberg bribed him with a carton of Pall Mall cigarettes.
That's it.
That's all it takes.
His life was worth a carton of Pall Malls.
Yeah.
Wow.
Soon after, Heisenberg arrived at his dilapidated family cabin in the Black Forest. That's where he found his furious wife.
Oh, she was mad at him?
Yeah, She was freezing, starving, and suffering from scarlet fever, along with their 6 children.
Well, go have fun with the talking bears and the coconut trees.
It's not real. It's not real.
It is a magical forest. It really is magical and deeply haunted. Deeply haunted.
But when Hitler committed suicide on May 1st, Henry's birthday.
We got him.
Congratulations,
Same thing with
Henry.
Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden we also got on my birthday.
Wow, look at you.
Werner and his wife broke out a bottle of wine and celebrated. It was all over because remember, the Nazis, he didn't like the Nazis. He just loved Germany.
Also, Oppenheimer, as I said, July 21st, my birthday. Is your birthday involved in this story?
You know what? I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't
You're
know.
out.
I'm out. Okay.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
That's not bad at all. Well, they were clinging to the hope that all Germans clung to at this point in history. Pretty much, let's hope to God the Americans find us before the Soviets do.
I thought you were going to say...
Or they knew for a fact, that Hitler had lived and moved his way to South America, and he knew that eventually he would come back to create the Ninth Reich. And that once he hit 90 and he had robot legs, he would be able to really orchestrate a new thing there.
There does have to be somebody being like...
Synth music.
There does have to be someone who's just like, what if they forget? Like, what if we just show up for work like we didn't quit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of actually in Germany, I've been doing a lot of research on it lately, and a lot of people in Germany did just try to forget.
You have to.
They just they all just
try to move on.
They wouldn't talk about it. Like that's why, shit got real weird in Germany in the 60s because their kids were like, "Hey, so what were you doing between 1933 and 1944?" And most of them were like,
the kids came.
And they all almost universally, everyone would say, "You weren't there. You don't know what it was like. I don't want to talk about it."
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as it went, Boris Pash was indeed on his way. The day after Hitler died, Pash arrived after following a rumor, only to find that Werner had just left to go visit his mother. Heisenberg's wife called him home, and Pash made arrangements to have Heisenberg and his family taken into American custody. After that, Pash soon collected the remaining Nazi physicists, which in the end became the lasting legacy of Alsos. They were successful in keeping every single member of the Uranium Club out of Soviet hands.
Wow.
And even though the Nazis were far behind in their atomic research, a mind like Heisenberg's could have easily brought the Russians up to speed if he'd had access to the intelligence that was being funneled out of Los Alamos by Soviet spies. Heisenberg, however, was still convinced that his experiment in atomic research was as far as anyone had gotten.
He's so stupid.
As far as he was concerned, he was on the verge of a massive breakthrough. He was therefore excited to continue his work with the Americans, and as he put it, he was going to catch up the world on all this nuclear reactor business.
Up his own ass.
Wow, thank you so much.
It was only when the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima 4 months later that all the members of the Uranium Club realized just how far behind they'd been.
Wow.
And it's with the testing and dropping of that bomb that we'll continue our series on the Manhattan Project.
All right. Holy hell.
Long, strange trip it's been. And next week, we're finally going to get to all that melting you guys have been asking for.
Yeah, what's it called? Frothing?
Sloughing.
Sloughing.
Well, the sloughing probably won't come. To be fair, sloughing won't come until episode 5. Next episode will be mostly vaporizing.
Oh,
vaporizing, getting super hot. You're gonna love it. Again, I have this. There's one whole book that says it didn't happen, and I don't know how. Why they think this. So I'm gonna go through this whole thing. It's very strange, but it's God, man. We're gonna get into it. This is when it gets real grisly.
You know what? I'm putting my conspiracy hat on here. Not when it comes to this, because it definitely happened. But moon landing. 50-50.
50-50, okay.
I'm going 50-50 on the moon landing.
This is great. We have done so much work
and I know
the last 4 weeks that you have literally just torn apart with one statement with Marcus sitting next to you on camera. Was the one statement to literally drag all of the
Marcus agrees with me.
No, I don't agree.
Hours of research.
I don't agree with you, but I'll meet you halfway. And you know how I'm going to do that?
50-50.
50-50. I'll meet you halfway. We did land on the moon. But we lost the footage, and so we had to recreate it.
Yeah.
How's about
it's
that?
not real.
Buddy,
it's been debunked. I can't
simply
believe
don't
I'm
know.
here.
We don't know.
We do know.
We really don't know because we simply don't know.
If you go up to Buzz Aldrin and you say that to him, he will suck you.
I watched a clip of Buzz. I watched a clip of Buzz saying it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And that was on Instagram. And so that's like a mail service.
Actually, I didn't know that it was on Instagram.
My favorite small epilogue from this episode is that when the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, Otto Hahn called Heisenberg a second rater. Yeah.
Nice.
The highest insult you can give.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone.
In Germany.
Oh, and also Moberg went on to live. Like, after the war, he just stayed in Europe and kept drawing a paycheck from the OSS saying like, yeah, I'm getting to the Russians.
Yep.
And he just fucking gallivanted around Europe for a few years and then hired an architect to argue with the CIA until he died in his bed, a happy man. And his last words were, how'd the Mets do today?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate they lost.
Yeah. And Boris Pash just became an asshole for the rest of his life. He was just in the CIA.
I believe that. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for listening. Hope you're doing well. And do we have anything that we want to talk about?
Oh, God.
Any business?
Don't know.
Let's not worry about it. Let's let these people go. You are now all... You are all let free.
I gotta get out of here.
All right. Henry's got to go take care of his mother. Hail yourselves, everyone.
Hail Satan.
Yeah, again.
My constellations. Don't make a bomb.
And if you got a minute, don't make a bomb. If you got a minute, hail me. Come on.
There you go.
Yeah. Try it on your way to the store. On
your way to the store. Just think about it. Just bless up. Because you never know.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Hailing seems like a strange thing to do after this episode.
Yeah,
that's hiling. You're thinking of hiling.
That's a good point.
It's an entirely different thing.
That's a good point.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.
The
This podcast is supported by Nurtec ODT, Rimegepant. We know you didn't ask for an interruption, but migraine doesn't wait for the right moment to interrupt either. It just barges in, takes your time, and throws everything off. So when migraine takes your time, take Nurtec. It's for the acute treatment of migraine with or without aura in adults. Nurtec can provide pain relief in 2 hours, which can last up to 2 days. Ask your healthcare provider if Nurtec is right for you, because your time is for you, not migraine. Don't take if allergic to Nurtec ODT. Allergic reactions can occur even days after use. Get help right away for trouble breathing, rash, swelling of face, mouth, tongue, or throat. High blood pressure and Raynaud syndrome can occur. Get help for high blood pressure, numbness, coolness, pain, or color changes in fingers and toes. Common side effect is nausea. For full prescribing information, call 1-833-4-NURTEC or visit Nurtec.com. All right, back to your podcast, playlist, or whatever's keeping you going today.
Courage. I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.